Hey, Mario Rodriguez here, and you're watching America's number one cure for insomnia, the Diamond Cutter Wrestling Podcast. And with me are
Jack Knives from Jack Knives Reviews.
Juby Chan, also known as Ninja Juby, or you can call me a very happy Wendy. Sort of. Okay, but I'm going to turn it over to the man of the hour, the man with the power, the man that's too sweet to be sour, Johnny Rodriguez.
there we go, guys. So we're going to be going into AEW All In Texas 2025. But before we're going to that, as usual, we're going to go into some of the wrestling news here and there, and we'll see what's going on. So, of course, we had other big events during that same weekend. I think the Ring of Honor happened first, right? So just real quick, going to the Ring of Honor pay-per-view. Any clip notes there, Jack? Because I missed out.
Did watch it. I did watch it. There were it was a pretty decent show, A to Z. Obviously for the fact that you could really tell they were like so focused on All In that unfortunately Ring of Honor was kind of almost an afterthought. But considering that, the two standouts were 100% the Athena versus Thunder Rosa match, because it wasn't amazing. Like, it wasn't like as peak as I thought it was going to be, but it wasn't at all bad. It was like a legit, oh, this is a great match. That was a good match, but the one that's absolutely probably if I were to say one match to watch on the entire card, hands down, was Takeshita versus Bandito. Like, legitimately two of the best pure athletes doing their style. And unlike some other more popular wrestlers, it wasn't just like flips as much as you would think it was. It was a lot of grappling, and like they balanced it out in like a flowing way. But I don't want to spoil it if you guys haven't seen it, but it legitimately, if there was one match on that show to watch, it would be the main event of Bandito versus Takeshita. And it was such a banger.
What's the stipulation for the match? I don't recall.
Well, title match, right?
It was just for the Ring of Honor title. I
Bandito has he got off of Jericho.
Now, one thing I do want to find out,
and he did retain. He did retain.
One thing I want to find out, because it's going to be similar to something that will happen later on in the show. We'll get there when we get there. But one thing that happened, I heard, is that Red Velvet had to turn in her, what do you call it, relinquish her title and everything for another match. But what was the reason?
Yeah.
You know, like was she injured, or like why? Why did she relinquish the title?
There was
the Ring of Honor TV title, right?
Yeah, it was the if I can remember. Sorry. Looking at my notes here.
Ring of Honor Women's TV title, I think.
Yeah, so it was there was a part, it was before the show. So it was at some point, it was before the show even started. So I guess she had been determined to be injured. Whether this happened on a taped show or in training or something, but they do know that like basically her injury was to the point where they couldn't, unfortunately,
clear her
they couldn't clear her to wrestle, so they forced her to vacate. They basically just didn't want to make any injury worse, with the possibility of she may need surgery, not 100%. So basically, New Japan, Ring of Honor management basically just said, okay, well, we have to defend this. It's Super Card of Honor. It's a big show for us. So unfortunately, they had to vacate the belt from her, which led to a last-minute fatal four-way with Mina Shirakawa, Miyu Yamashita from Tokyo Joshi Pro, Persephone, and Yuka Sakazaki. So it was literally, my head was just like, I was literally like, is this just like indie bingo? Because I'm like, I've seen all of you wrestle live, and I'm like, you're like, it's almost taunting me. Like, you're like, hey, you know these girls you like? Yeah, well, they're all wrestling together, and you don't get to see it. I was like, I want to be there. But it was a great match. Leading with Mina Shirakawa winning the vacated Ring of Honor television champion, Ring of Honor Women's World Television Championship. So that is her first singles belt she's won since leaving Stardom. The last belt she had in Stardom was the Wonder of Stardom title, but that was for a very brief period of time. So Yeah, hey, it's good for her. I'm happy for her.
So on top of that, we also had WWE main event, Saturday night main event, and Evolution.
Yeah.
Was Evolution what night was? Because it's not the same night,
Well,
right?
so what happened was actually so it was already pre-scheduled to be that weekend in Atlanta was basically they said WWE week, and I was like, oh, okay. So they had in this order Friday Night SmackDown, then Saturday from 12 to 3, they had NXT's Great American Bash. Then at 5, Saturday Night's main event. Then Sunday, Evolution, and then Monday they had Raw. So it was all that. And they had like a bundle pack. My friend went, he got a bundle pack for like $2,000, which I'm like, okay, but for 5 shows for $2,000, that's a pretty damn good deal. I'm not throwing that kind of money around. But
and
5 shows for
$2,000. I want to add on that the other good thing is that they're like 10 hours each for each show.
Exactly. Like, and I'm like, they literally blew by. I was like, damn. Like, I was like, oh, we're already on this match. Oh shit. And like in a good way, that was like the pacing was really well done. There wasn't too many in between spots. There was a lot for Saturday Night's main event. That was more Saturday Night's main event, as my friend put it, is Saturday Night's filler show. I'm like, yeah, fair enough. Let's see. Great American Bash did really, really well. Then Saturday Night's main event was later that night at 5. And
that was a big
major
retirement match.
The Goldberg retirement match, which thank God. I mean, like, this is the thing. A lot of people were mad. Oh, how come they're going to have Goldberg fight Gunther? They're going to have like Jay couldn't beat Gunther. And people don't understand this. It wasn't that Jay couldn't beat Gunther. It's that Jay couldn't make Gunther look good. That's the reality of it is. Because it's one thing to be able to beat a guy in the ring. It's a whole nother thing to wrestle a bad wrestler and make that bad wrestler look good. And Gunther 100% made Goldberg look amazing. Like, you know how good a wrestler you have to be to make Goldberg look good? Like, legit. Like, I'm like, can we all agree he's an amazing wrestler if he can do that? That's like AJ Styles, how he can literally wrestle a mop and make the mop look like a world contender. Like, that's that level of skill.
Mm-hmm. He made what's his name's mop look good.
Yeah.
So during the show, Seth Rollins unfortunately had a very scary moment where he did a back somersault. His normal spot, his knee completely buckled. He was in the corner for a while. Everyone thought, oh, is this part of his gimmick? Is he leading it? But it went on for so long, and they called an audible right there and then. So calling an audible in wrestling terminology is when they inform the ref, hey, match can't continue, quick finish. So he was fighting LA Knight. Overall, it was a good match, but Rollins got out of the corner. Knight hit him with the BFT. 1, 2, 3, the end. It was like everyone's like, oh, and Knight was like visually pissed, actually pissed because he's like, fuck, man, he didn't want the match to end that way. So I'm like, man, poor guy. But and then during the Goldberg match, Goldberg had speared the referee in a wrong angle. I believe it was Charles Robinson. I could be mistaken, but it led to him having a hairline fracture in one of his ribs. And then, of course, they cut off his broadcast of his retirement speech for NBC, and it still played on Peacock, but it ended on NBC.
Yeah.
Which I find hilarious, and apparently he got really upset. He's been whining how he got screwed. I'm like, oh, shut up. Oh my God. So, and he's like, oh, this is truly the end of a guy. You'll never see another Goldberg around. And everyone collectively was like, yeah.
Even back in the 90s with WCW, I used to watch every once in a while. I just never liked Goldberg. Sorry to people who were big fans of him. I just did not care for him.
Well, I liked Goldberg back then. I mean, I don't know about now when he got older and stuff, but I mean, you remember him, Johnny, right? We were watching WCW Thunder. I mean,
Thursday Night Thunder. I used to watch Thunder every Thursday. But
let's see Johnny's thoughts. Yeah, wasn't
But-
Goldberg
so
badass back then and whatever?
I think so. I don't know.
I know. Well, I will say though, looking back on both, Sting was given a ton more dignity, and rightfully so, in his final match than Goldberg was. In a way, that's not anything to do with Goldberg. It has everything to do with the fact that Sting earned respect, and the crowd was like, because I know only because he's from Atlanta that the crowd actually cared. But you could tell as soon as the match went ding ding ding, half of the crowd just left. They're just like, bye. I'm like, because everyone collectively, and I was watching a couple streamers react to it. You have no idea how many streamers online are like, oh, thank God. Whew. Like we were all like, oh, good. They're not going to have Goldberg Gunther job to Goldberg. That was really what it was. It wasn't a matter can Gunther beat Goldberg. It's like, is he going to job? It's the equivalent of like, it's the equivalent of like, imagine Tony Khan really, really loving that Costco guy, whatever the hell his name is, that guy, and going, you know what? We're going to make Okada drop the belt to that guy. And everyone will go, fuck you. like, it's not a matter. Like, I mean, legitimately, everyone would go, no. Like, it's like, well, but he's a former wrestler and burby. I don't care. It's Okada. It's the Costco guy. This should not be a debate.
Okay, but anyways, the other thing you were saying as a result of the Seth Rollins thing, he's out indefinitely.
Even though he's
Allegedly.
the Money in the Bank,
Yeah, they said
Champion.
that he actually said himself in a recent interview where he was like on a sports thing for like ESPN News saying how he has a full brace on from his knee down, and that they don't know the exact severity yet, but they do think he's going to be out indefinitely, even though he has the Money in the Bank, and he has it till June of next year to cash in. They still don't know if they're going to force him to vacate it or not. So I don't know. It's very much up in the air. And during the Evolution show, which I guarantee every wrestling fan should watch, it is pure great women's wrestling. And I'm not joking when I say this. It is probably as close to a perfect pay-per-view you could actually have. The crowd responded well. All the women did a great job. There wasn't any bad moments. And it even ended in a shocking moment where Naomi cashed in the main event against Io Sky, and against Io Sky, and she's now the world heavyweight women's champion. And I'm like, what? Like everyone was in shock. But that match with her and Rhea legitimately reminded me of Stardom matches. Like it was to that caliber of like, holy shit, this is like a top tier match, and then to end it in a crescendo of like, well, didn't have a winner, and the fact that the show ended with both of them walking to the back, holding each other and crying at how good a job they did, and everyone was like cheering. And yes, it did not sell out. But I'm not making excuses, but you also have to remember, literally across the street was a sold out stadium Beyonce concert. So take that with a fistful of salt. Just saying. God. And there was even a guy with a sign. There was a guy with a sign that said, "I got lost from the Beyonce concert," and I'm like, genius.
No.
I'd rather go to the. I would rather go to Evolution.
It kind of sucks that Gigi Dolan and Corey J got kicked out too soon because they could have been on this show at least one last hurrah before they got, I guess, cut or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But
I believe so. I mean, like honestly, like even like I said, I could have seen them in the Battle Royal or something like that because they had a lot of great spots. It was a great, like I said, it was an overall a great show. Legit. Even Nikki Bella did a good job, and I was like, oh god, wow. I mean, she wasn't in there that long.
They actually had a what do you call it? They actually had a match in Game Changer Wrestling that same weekend. I mean, I'll eventually buy it and watch it later, but they actually had a Gigi Dolan versus, or I guess now they're back to the regular names, Priscilla Kelly versus Elena Black match at Game Changer Wrestling. So I'll check it out one of these days eventually. It's just too much stuff going on. It's a weekend of wrestling. It was like, And so on that note, let's get started with the All In Texas 2025.
Oh,
And
yeah.
if you guys, we don't do the videos anymore. We do it amongst ourselves in our private thing there. We draw little predictions. We try to see who won, who lost, us and DJF. And William wasn't here with us today, but he's busy and all that. So we do the comparisons, who was right, who was wrong, that kind of stuff. The only two we didn't do it for. Yeah, the only two we didn't do it was the Casino Battle Royale for the men and the women because you can't predict, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But other than that,
Yeah, especially if you don't even know who's going to be in it. So yeah, those are the only exceptions here.
Yeah. So let's get started with we also get some more than others, but we have notes here and there. So, and you can also fill in the blanks if anything cool happened that we might have forgotten, Jack.
All right, so the first match, and this is the pre-show stuff where we don't really care so much about it.
The
But anyway,
0 hour.
the 0 hour where usually zero things happen of interest.
Where it's noted real quick before we start. Well, what notice is that we had Renee, we had RJ City, but we had Paul White because hey, he still works here. You know what I mean? And someone was posting on the message boards like what is even his job anymore? And I'm like reminding you that he still works at AEW.
And the thing is, there was some of the scenes where you see him, he's like, oh, can I go home now? He just had that kind of look to me.
Yeah. And also Jeff Jarrett, because I guess that's his job now. His job now is being a 0 hour host.
And you used to have a storyline, but I don't know what happened to that.
Oh, yeah. I renewed my contract because I was going to try to get the title, but I guess that got forgotten.
Yeah, MJF need to be taken down. I was going to do it, but apparently it won't going to work out that way. So anyway, back to this nonsense. So the first 0 hour match for the Sons of Texas
Well, what
versus.
about the segment first? Because
They did start off with a segment.
Like it was a 2 hour thing, and the first hour was basically all the recaps and storylines and all that stuff. But
yeah, it started off with a segment with Renee and Moxley riding her. He's driving and she's talking, and he's talking about the match and what if he doesn't deserve it and all that nonsense. Renee said, "Oh my God, you're getting on my last nerve." Okay, she didn't say that. That's just what I was thinking. But
but it was interesting just to see that though, because this is one of those cases where I kind of prefer that they don't mention that they're married in real life or whatever. Because how does that work? Renee's cheerful and whatever, and Moxie's chewing glass and whatever. So this is like a time where she's like actually concerned that he might lose the title. And then she mentions that it's not just the title, it's also like the social medias and the whatever. So I'm like, you guys aren't appearing on talk shows or nothing. The fuck y'all talking about?
Yeah, it's like the old days,
Yeah.
The problem is
Cena would be on shows or whatever. Like
the problem is oh, sorry, go on.
Oh, I don't want, but I didn't even know for a while back. I didn't even know she was married with Moxley until I guess she keeps mentioning it more recently on the 0 hour, but I didn't know that. So
but the funny thing is like Moxley. Okay, normally Moxley can't come off as cool. Like he's trying to be like all angry and scary. He comes off more like irritated that he can't see his kids in a custody hearing. And now in this segment, when they were driving, he was less mad about the match. He came off more like he was angry at a diner for screwing up his eggs. And I'm just like, this is the scary guy? This guy's like, I'm just telling you, Renee, I just wanted my eggs well done, over medium, and they were runny. All right. You don't understand. She's like, if you don't shut up about the eggs, I'm gonna it's like at that point. Like that's what it felt like. It didn't feel like in an interview. It felt more like POV where we're hearing them complain about a place they went to eat.
Yeah, and then Renee barely any interaction with them at all during most of the run or whatever. You don't see her like try to interview him or anything like that. And now all of a sudden,
or even saying like, why do you like Marina so much?
Yeah, that's one thing. I was gonna say that Marina acts way too defensive over Moxley in some of the matches, and some points where she even like takes hits meant for him and stuff like that. I'm kind of like, if you're gonna have Renee interact, let's kind of see there, like by the way, what's going on with you and Marina?
Didn't Hangman clothesline Marina?
Yeah,
recently. Okay,
Yeah,
so
but there was a time where I think it was maybe Hangman had some chains wrapped around and he was gonna sock Moxley, but then like Marina got in the way, like he stopped, but she like got in the way. She was willing to take the
No.
hit for him, and I'm kind of like, but that was not here. That was in the Dynamite or whatever. But I'm kind of
no,
like,
I'm saying in the go home show of Dynamite, in the go home collision, he
Yeah.
literally said like it's like, well, this is for you, and he like decks her and like clotheslines her. Like he actually clotheslined Marina. I remember he
Yeah.
actually hit Marina, and I'm just like, okay, so who am I rooting for here?
yeah, but she plays off the person you want to see hit. You know what I mean?
I
But what I'm
know,
trying to say though is that yeah, there's times where she's literally like jumped in the way to take shots from Moxley. I'm kind of like, okay, that's going beyond just being a stooge. You know what I mean? Like this is where Renee's got to ask a little bit of questions. You know.
And they could just do some kind of storyline. They could have done like a storyline where Renee is she's doing her commentating thing, trying to be all professional, but at the same time, she has her resentment toward Moxley because of the attention she's giving to Marina.
Yeah,
I mean, he's giving to Marina. I mean, at least it'll make something a little more interesting.
Yeah. But anyways, for this segment, it was just kind of weird because it just felt weird that Renee cared so much about Moxley losing the title and whatever when she's been absent this whole time in terms of being involved with Moxley anyway. But anyways, let's get to the actual match. But that was an interesting segment. The rest was the usual like recaps here and there and stuff like that. And Tony Storm calling herself a big bottom whore and all the stuff that we're used to her saying. But anyways, let's get to the I know. They never get away with so much. But anyways.
So the first 0-hour match, which was rearranged because of the other stuff we're going to mention later, is the Sons of Texas versus Shane Taylor Productions. Sons of Texas won, and everyone got a point for that one. Wait, actually, I only got a point for this one. That one was me and Mark. Everybody else went for the Shane Taylor production. And the only thing that we noted there was how Kevin Von Erich used the Iron Claw on Anthony Ogogo.
And even they mentioned someone I was on the Game Facts. Even they were mentioning. Remember when Anthony Ogogo was like actually feuding with Cody, and now just like a random stooge in the background and stuff like that. But yeah, I didn't see that. I think Dustin also did the claw and referenced someone, but then it was cool because Von Erich himself came out, did the claw and everything. So that was like the thing of note. So then the next match is Jack's favorite match with AJ. Boom. And the conglomeration.
First the Don Callis
family. The Don Callis family.
Yeah, so the Boom people won. Yeah, what happened in this nonsense? Okay, well,
Kyle Fletcher, ever since Dynamite, when they first announced that they were going to team up and stuff.
But even with the way he got thrown in there, I was just saying jokingly, it was more like, oh gosh, we gotta put someone else in there. Kyle, you go. And
yeah,
like,
but the thing is, Kyle's all like doing all the stupid poses.
He's
like,
doing the Rizzler crap, and I'm
like, okay, he probably got kids, and his kids love that channel because
I've never been. Every time I see that family, I've never wanted so badly for someone to hurt them. I've never wanted so badly for them to just turn it back to the Attitude Era and just have like someone just hit them with like something. I don't care that they're just kids because I'm like, okay, you can't have a company. You can't have the same company who literally puts syringes in people's mouths and drop kicks them, and then another guy over here who literally cuts a dude's throat and drinks it like a Slurpee, and then boom. No. Who are you writing this shit for? Tell me. That's like having a Game of Thrones marathon on Nick Jr. Why? Why are you doing this?
No. So some other things. Oh yeah. I said the Boom people won it. Everyone got a point except for Jack because he hates the Boom people that much. Anyway, though, let's see. Kyle was doing the fat kids poses, whatever his name is. Oh, Rizzler. Yeah, whatever. Let's see. You have here that Romero got into the face of one of the fat kids. Sorry, I don't even know that name. It's a fat kid, one fat kid.
There's fat kid and even fatter kid. And he went up to the fat kid, and then the fatter kid was like, what? And then he was like, what? And I was like,
okay.
And I was all like, kill me. I just wanted to cut back I would love for it to just cut back to just a still image of, or like a still visual of like Minoru Suzuki just sitting in a chair, like, and then just like it's like, and then Suzuki like, and then like that, go right back to it. It would make it way better. And I'm like, okay, at least I'm not the only one. Okay. Anyway.
No. So anyway.
So, let's see. You continue over this craziness. Trish shoved the fatty kid to the floor. Then the dad got. Oh, I remember that now. Then Big Boom Daddy got mad and
the ref had to hold him back.
Oh yeah, the ref had to fake hold him back. And then
oh yeah, Ishii was in bad shape. He was gassed during the whole match.
He looked so tired.
He really could barely move. The age is catching up to him.
I mean, I know there are jokes about it.
The Tony Khan booking is catching
well,
up.
they already basically like semi-retired him in New Japan, so it's kind of like at this point it's like
he's just here to get a paycheck. Okay, the Ishii, like you say, he looked terrible. He didn't look good during this match, but he did pick up Archer and slam him. And AJ was saying that the Boom and was saying, oh yeah, he did all his Boom stupidity. He got hot kicked by Trent right in the middle. But that's right, and I busted out laughing. And then one of the fat kid knocks down Trent with a spear. Oh, the bigger fat kid, right?
Yeah.
And then AJ slammed Romero with the power boom, and he won the match.
Now, people were also saying that the kid does a good spear, though. And they were saying, okay, so how can this fat kid do, like, much better spears than half the roster or whatever,
Guys.
It's because it's either this kid actually paid attention or your roster just sucks that much. It's one of the two. I'm going with the latter. But that's me.
No. Now, one thing is that now I can imagine it's like Snibbly. We will capture the hedgehog, and after that, the Costco guys.
Okay, they put on his hit list now, huh? All right, and the third and final match was FTR versus the Outrunners. FTR won this match, and everyone got a point except for Jack and Panda, unfortunately. And for this one, a few notes. Oh yeah, there was a blackout at the beginning of the match. We thought that maybe someone was gonna come into the ring, but no. Apparently, they probably have technical issues, and the lights just went out. Okay.
All the money goes to those cameramen when there's like sky blue and all that stuff. They can't pay electricity.
Anyway, the commentary was really, really, really awkward. The Outrunners, their pants look like Newport cigarette cases. Mandy was too busy chasing and trying to grab Stokely, and he was grabbed in a roll up and got pinned, and then FTR won. And there was apparently a loud, noisy kid in the audience, which I didn't notice until someone else made it up. It's like, no.
That was fucking annoying. It was like near the end of the match. It was like annoying. And people were saying that. No! Yeah, people were saying that was still the pre-show. So they were saying like people were posting, man, they're gonna shut that fucking kid up before the actual show starts. I'm gonna cancel my subscription right now. Fuck that shit. You
don't care about what you're watching if you're gonna let a little kid saying no deter you from watching something that you're supposed to be invested in.
Yeah, but like that loud, that annoying, where you can't tune it out.
But that means that must mean that there's nothing of worth of the show to ignore the kids who watch it, is what I'm saying.
No, what she's saying is the audience is having such a little reaction that the kid is so loud you can hear him on the mic. That's what you're saying,
and
right?
Also that.
Because I'm like, everyone says like, it's I'm gonna take you backstage and beat it black and blue. I'm gonna do it, and then just one guy. No.
So before we get to those real quick, Johnny, any thoughts on those? Did you see the pre-show at all, or just the main event, the main show?
Yeah, I did saw the pre-show, but pretty much at this point, I don't really remember too much about the pre-show.
Not even the fat kids being abused.
Oh yeah, I think I remember.
Not even the fat kid.
That's what they were saying, because since Lance Archer shoved the kid to the floor and all that stuff and whatever, when they were complaining about the kid that keeps yelling and then I said, someone got to call Lance Archer back to deal with that kid.
Oh my god!
Not the fat kid. No. Like, that's
on the bright side,
I'm surprised no one had a sign I'm surprised no one had a sign of that Simpsons meme of what somebody think of the children. That would have. I would bring that to a shot. I would bring that to a show. I would legit bring that to like, won't somebody please think of the children? Like specifically when they come out. Like, no.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Hopefully the fat kids will. And I'm fat, so I can call them fat. So that's all I'm saying.
mm-hmm.
They go back and eat their cookies. Anyway, so anywho, before we get into the main show, they did have a quick change. So as I mentioned with the pre-show, originally the Sons of Agony match and the Sons of Texas match versus Shane Taylor Production was supposed to be the third match on the card, but they switched it up and made it the first because Adam Cole got terribly injured. He had a very bad concussion. Apparently, he wasn't cleared.
No, we didn't know at the time. All they said is he wasn't cleared to wrestle.
This is after the fact. They said he wasn't cleared to wrestle, so they decided to change his match against what was it? Fletcher originally?
Yeah, it was going to be a three-way between Cole, Fletcher, and Garcia.
Yeah.
But that got canceled. So that one we also can't count because we voted for that originally. We didn't know it was going to happen. You know?
Yeah.
It's the Garcia now, like all of a sudden, like I guess last minute change.
Yeah, because of the Adam Cole thing. So they decided.
I will say real quick before you get into it. I will say one of the funniest. I'm like, you pulled a Sid Vicious and made fun and basically mocked yourself by trying to sound cool. Daniel Garcia had a fucking hilarious thing, and it was clearly not intentional to sound like a dumbass, but he did. When he goes, "Oh, you think you're owed a title shot for beating Daniel Garcia? Well, everyone's beating Daniel Garcia." I'm like,
yes.
That's you, stupid. That's you.
Yeah.
Like, you think you're so good? You think you're so good because you beat me? Everyone's kicked my ass. I'm like, that's not.
I'm sorry, I gotta go back to 1987 Turtles for this one. It's like that one with Leonardo. I forgot who they were going up against, and Leonardo said, "Yeah, we're not as dumb as we." It was some kind of line like that. And Raph was like, "No, Leo, no. You don't walk into something like that." That's
no.
exactly what
I remember what it was. It was the look. It's all like everybody hates me. Hey, little bud, that's not true. No, I hate him. No.
And then
it was Ralph. Ralph said that. He's like, no, actually, I do. I
love that. That is still one of my favorite Raphael moments.
Okay.
But anyway.
But anyways, another thing we were going to say is that it was kind of a mystery throughout the night, and it was explained actually afterwards. But at first, it was just Cole is not clear to wrestle, and that's it. And they were trying to, I guess, put it to kayfabe because later on they were saying, the match is coming up later on tonight. Cole is out because due injuries caused by Fletcher, the previous night, and you're like, okay, we saw a collision. When does this occur? You know what I mean? And then, of course, it changes something else later. But
so the match got changed to a four-way between the Sons of Texas and Garcia and Fletcher. So since Dustin and Sammy had to pull a double duty, that's why they rearranged the matches at the beginning.
Yeah.
And we'll get there when we get there. So the first match on here for the main show is the Ops versus the Death Riders for the World Trios Championship. Okay, so for this one, the Ops actually won, and everyone got a point for this one except for poor DJF, who went with the Death Riders. For this, we have for a few notes here. Gabe was acting like an animal at the beginning of the match, walking in on all fours. And I said, even George the Animal still never did that. And then there are 2 minute chops between Shibata and oh my gosh,
Gabe kid.
I hate chops. You did he got attacked in the corner.
Everyone just took turns on him and everything.
Yeah, I don't think you'd have consented to that. And then Samoa Joe was ganged up on, and then he ended up being carried out at the end.
Yeah. So the Ops won, but I guess they kind of lost the war in the sense that Samoa Joe was taken out of the game and everything.
He's trying to escape.
Yeah. But yeah, but I liked it. It was an interesting match. Always good to see the ops in action and everything. And I also like anytime the Death Riders lose and stuff like that. So that was kind of cool.
Mhm.
And I
They
don't know
still
why-
turn around
I
and did
find
their
Gabe
heelish
Kidd
stuff.
annoying though. I'm sure he's cool on his own, but I always find him annoying because he's like that annoying extra backup. Because it's like when you got like it's like the NWO when it was like massive, you know.
Oh, when you
You
had
got
like, no, when you had like, oh, that's NWO one, that's NWO two.
yeah, I know.
Well, here's
Yeah,
the thing.
but it's like saying you already got the NWO and they're unstoppable as is, and then the few moments you're gonna lose, now you're gonna bring in fucking Goldberg and Ultimate Warrior, Yokozuna as well to cheat, and you know what I mean? Like they don't need Gabe Kidd on top of who they already have.
Well,
You know?
the reason, the thing is, like Gabe has actually talked about this in an interview recently. He said, he's Bullet Club through and through, and the whole stuff with the Death Riders is mostly, he's like, I'm basically just being a mercenary for them. I don't actually want to be a part of their shitty group. He said that before, so he's flat out said, like, because the fact of the matter is they don't have any appreciation for him anyway. It's basically they needed an extra person because Mox bit off more than he could chew, so they needed an extra person. So he's not really like a part of the Death Riders. He's more like a mercenary. So it's like, okay, because the fact is, like, they have zero respect for him and the company because they don't even mention the fact that he's the IWGP Global Heavyweight Champion, which is the second biggest prize in New Japan. They don't even mention that. So, like, he's not going to give his A game. He's just like, all right, I'm getting paid because he's like focused on his own shit in New Japan right now. So
Man,
I'm like, yeah.
Work for Tunicon. I wish I get paid to do
You
nothing.
say Tunicon? You say Tunicon?
Tunicon. I wish I could
I was
work
like,
for
they said
Tunicon.
Tunicon. Now I just imagined a frizzy-haired fish.
Oh, okay. But anyways, what were your thoughts on the match, Jack, if any?
It was fine. I mean, it was kind of like, all right, decent start to the show. I mean, I personally kind of like seeing. I really liked the match with Shibata and Gabe from before. So for me, I'm like, because I'm such a big Bullet Club. You know me, I'm a hardcore Bullet Club fan. But I and the mentality of like he's the only real reason I would watch that match. Like, I do love Shibata, and I do love Joe, but it kind of feels like their versions now are so watered down that I'm just like, eh. And Hobbs is fine. He's not anything to write home about. Claudio sucks though, man. I don't know what is wrong with him anymore. He is, ever since he's become a villain, he's gotten really weak in the game, like in his style. Like it's just bland. I get, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's too predictable. It's too predictable and boring. And I'm like, dude, you used to be like top tier, must watch kind of style, and now it's like, all right, a couple European uppercuts, and I'm gonna do a swing maybe,
end up there
and
the ball.
The ball.
I was gonna say that.
There you go.
Yeah, it was just like, it was fine, but like I said, it wasn't anything to write home about. I'm like, it's a basic way to start a pay-per-view. I'm like, all right, like no harm, no foul. It's fine. That's basically my opinion.
Your thoughts, Johnny?
Oh, I was gonna say that the match in general, I personally thought that it was pretty watered down. Like I didn't really see much from, I don't know, Powerhouse Hobbs, if I'm not mistaken. So Mo Joe, I don't know. Like I don't feel like the wrestlers didn't do much. And yeah, like you said, Claudio Castagnoli, like he's just like, he's there. It looks like he's just collecting the paycheck at this point.
Right, and I think what really made me kind of irked about that, and maybe Johnny will probably agree with me on this, it's because this is the biggest show of the year. Mm-hmm. And it felt like you did not give your top tier style, like you didn't give it your all on the best show. And to me, that's kind of like a middle finger to the fans, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we all can say. Because like I said, the match was like, I don't know. I don't really remember much about it except for the few things we mentioned. Because I mean, the Gabe thing was like, okay, Gabe, all right, you want to be a tiger today? Okay, you're great. All right. So after that was the men's Casino Gauntlet match, and MJF did end up winning this one. But yeah, for me, I kind of fell asleep. But here's the order of everyone that came in.
Yeah, I was keeping track of everyone who came in. Now, the way this works is that it's kind of like a sudden death. It's not like people getting thrown out. It's like the match can end at any time. As long as someone pins 1, 2, 3, the match can end there, even though everyone else didn't come out yet. And every couple of minutes, a new guy comes in and stuff like that. But it could literally end at any moment. You know what I mean? And the first two people were MJF
And
versus
Mark
Mark Briscoe.
Briscoe.
And
After
they were, well, hold on. They had the little talky talk on Dynamite and everything. And
you don't get your little talking talk, because we got to talk, but y'all gonna kick your ass and all this other stuff.
yeah, but the thing is that he was preparing himself for like, yeah, I knew you were gonna bring shit about my brother, so go ahead, whatever, you know. So MJF actually went there and was saying that he respects Jay Briscoe and all the good stuff he did, whatever. But it's a shame he had to look down and see what became of his brother. And the thing that really pushed the line was like, because you know, when you had that car accident, he was wishing well, something like that. Like you know,
probably should have been Mark instead of
yeah, it should have been Mark instead of Jay. So that's when Jay got like serious, not his loud word, but he was like, "Oh, you crossed that line, man, and we're gonna be the first two in that Casino Gauntlet, and I'm gonna whoop that ass."
I like what he's saying. Oh, you deserve a good old country boy whooping and all that other stuff because you know, like country, you know, Southerners and you know,
yeah.
Yeah, we got whipped.
Okay. So the first two people were MJF and Briscoe, as we mentioned,
Next
and Mr.
was-
Ricochet was the third person there.
After that, MJ and Ricochet they teamed up on Briscoe. Then Bandito showed up. Then Bandito picked up Ricochet with one-handed. Okay, I did see this, and he ended up dropping him. Next to come in was Takeshita, and after that, I think I was out. Then Mystico showed up. I don't remember him there.
Yeah, you were song lost.
Okay, yeah. Then Josh Alexander showed up. Anthony Bowens. The only thing I remember is MJF winning. After that, Bowens tells Takeshita,
and
Josh is just so lordy.
Yeah, they reset that. He was, yeah, you two can suck this fucking dick. And then they both knock his ass down. I'm like, okay.
Then Angry Ned, Roger Strong shows up. And then Brody King. Juice Robinson was there?
Yeah.
He still works there?
Well, it was his return, and he was clean shaven. And people were saying he looked so weird, clean shaven. And someone said, dude.
Yeah, because people aren't used to seeing him young. I know what he looked like young. Always had him and David Finlay always had like a really young looking. Same thing with Jay. Jay White, he's real. All three of them got baby faces.
Two things I want to say. One person commented on GameFAQs somewhere about like he is not a good looking dude without the beard. Like, oh God, my hat's off to Tony for putting up with that. and then number two, did he not almost look like the bad guy from Only the Strong? Give or take.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I'm gonna beat you with the capoeira, man. You know.
Wow. So he still works there.
Well, that was you know.
Well, he's been injured. He's been injured for several months.
Yeah. No, it's just been so long, you know? I mean, no mystery.
Let me get this real quick. The Gates of Agony show up, even though they were not technically not members of, well, you know, not official entrants to the match. And they started attacking Juice Robinson and Ricochet, you know, to help Ricochet out because now they're like Ricochet's goons. He was looking for goons a couple of weeks ago. He finally got the Gates of Agony to work with him. So they came in unofficially to beat up on Juice. Then the Young Guns come in, which is also like a big return for them. And also they're not official entrants. So they go in there, they take out the Gates of Agony with chairs, and they resume to like, you know, the actual people.
And
they also
they slammed Ricochet down apparently. I mean, gosh, even he showed up.
Yeah.
And Kota Ibushi shows up for
which is now an official entrance.
Okay. And the Beast Mortos, which means he was gonna lose anyway. The Takeshita backslams both Mystico and Ricochet. And then Max Caster showed up.
He was the last one. He got taken down like a bitch. I forgot who someone just took him down right off the bat before he could even get to the ring. I know it wasn't Bowens, because Bowens like taunted him after, but he got like just knocked down the moment he didn't even get into the ring.
Like I said, who did he piss off backstage to be booked this way? But anyway, and Briscoe slammed Roderick. MJF shoved him away and pinned Roderick for the win.
So there
Okay.
you go. So basically, yeah, so MJF took advantage of that, and you did the whole thing with the what do you call it? Work smarter, not harder. We also had what's his face? MVP was also doing commentary. So a lot of times when MGF was like down or something, like get up, MGF, get your ass up, all that kind of stuff. So yeah. So
For those who are awake for it, any
yeah,
thoughts?
we'll get Johnny go first for a different order. What do you think, Johnny?
Well, obviously, by now I didn't remember. I don't remember all the consecutive order of the where the wrestlers were lined up and who was beating up who. But in general, the match was very entertaining. I did like the concept more that to win the match, it's more about like pinning the wrestler rather than just kicking them out of the ring, like throwing them out of the ring. So that's a little bit different in how we usually do those kind of matches. So I found that kind of interesting. But yeah, I thought it was a entertaining match. I think it's one of the more entertaining matches of the people.
Okay. Yeah. I liked it. I like these kind of matches. And I just there's always like surprises and
It's
stuff.
not one beater, yeah.
Yeah. Now for this one, obviously the big surprise was that Juice was back.
I'm happy Juice is back. I'm happy he's back. I'm glad they brought him back and finally recovering from his injury. I also am just like first of all, that concept of that gauntlet, those battle royals are stupid because I'm like, okay, there's only one of two ways you could do a battle royal, in my opinion. It's either all over the top, or you do a rare exception like the final ones that like good example, little bit of a tangent. In TNA, they have the Call Your Shot Gauntlet. So the Call Your Shot Gauntlet is a battle royal until there's two people left. Then it becomes a singles match. And the winner of that match, and the cool thing about the Call Your Shot Gauntlet is women can enter it too. So it can be men, women, whatever. And the winner gets basically a trophy that allows you to call out any champion at any time on the calendar year. So it could be a tag team, it could be the X division, it could be the world title, it could be whatever, whenever. So
Could be the Continental Breakfast title.
Yes, but I'm saying now if they did that for that style match, I'd be like, that's good. Do it that way. But if you just go, well, whoever gets pinned first, I'm like, then what the hell's the point of the gauntlet? What the hell is the point of the battle over the top rope? That's my mentality. I don't know. It's just, or if you do the New Japan or Stardom Rambos, those are when they come down to the final four, and then the final four will get a match later. But like something like that, I get, but like not a battle royal should just be a battle royal, just like over the top rope, the end. I'm like, okay, keep it simple for the audience. Don't be like, well, you got to make it. You got to do an entire battle royal, and then you got to make sure that you don't get on the top rope, or you do 16 somersaults and pat your head and your tummy. And it's like, no, fuck off. Just win the match. It's not that hard. Like,
yeah, I have to agree with that because even with the whole pinning rule thing, it just seems kind of, I don't know, it just seems kind of counterproductive because you have the first two people in the ring and you can try to do something fast and then get a quick pin. You know what I mean? And it just seems like it'll be just a waste of everyone's time because it'll be boring. It'll be boring.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, if it's a quick pin, the match is over, and you don't get to see all the other people.
That too, because like I said, hey, you want to see Juice. You want to see. I think it should be more of a traditional battle royale, and maybe even I would get more invested in it, and to avoid all the unnecessary spots that most of these guys do.
Yeah.
And so it would be more of a safer work, more safe spots they can do, as opposed to, like you say, I want to just climb up on a Titantron and throw myself into the middle of the ring and land on my neck. I mean,
do you have any additional thoughts, Johnny, near the end? I think I kind of cut you off there by mistake.
Oh, I was just saying that I personally thought the concept was a little interesting because it's more like I guess you got to pin the wrestler. It doesn't matter how many people are in the ring or if they're out of the ring. So I found that kind of interesting. But, it did suck that MJF won the match. I would have preferred Bandito to have won this match.
Yeah. Well, Johnny, I think you have to keep in mind with that one is that if you pin the match, it's already over. So if you pin the person, let's say, for example, if Briscoe did pin MJF in the beginning, like that's it, it's over, and you don't get to see the other people come in. So that's the only part that people were complaining about that,
Also, I will say this as a random aside. I believe that if you do a tournament or if you do a gauntlet match like this or a battle royal, I'm a firm believer that you should have those kind of matches to make it more exciting for the fans. Have the people in the match having never gotten an opportunity to get a world title. You know what I mean? Make it fresh, because it's going to guarantee whoever wins, it's a fresh match. It's a match that no one's going to ever seen before. So that's my opinion. So like, good example, like Juice Robinson never challenged for a world title. The Alexander, like these people have never gone after the AEW title. That's what I would do. Like just go, whoa, because that's interesting. That's new. That's something different. That's just my 2 cents. And not just this match. I'm saying in general, I hate when they have like a tournament, not just this company, any company does like a tournament or whatever, or like these style matches, like an elimination chamber or whatever. They go, well, you just lost this world title match, so let's give you another one. I'm like, why? He's a loser.
Well, in a certain way, though, this is all part of like the big MJF with the Hurts and the Kid trying to get another title shot, like storyline. So it kind of goes there.
Yeah, but that just downside made it predictable that he was going to win it anyway.
Exactly. When you do that too much, it becomes predictable. Like that's the problem. You can't just keep giving the same guys over and over title opportunities, because it takes away from fans being able to engage with new wrestlers. So I'm like what? How shocking? Legitimately, Johnny, how shocked would you be if Juice Robinson had won that opportunity?
I would have been way more shocked than seeing MJF win this match.
Exactly. You would have been like, "Whoa, that's different." Or
I would have been shocked that Juice Robinson was even there. But like I said, I was asleep. I didn't even see him.
Or what if it was Mark Briscoe who pinned MJF? And Mark Briscoe got a title shot.
That would have been awesome if Briscoe won the match.
I think he would have won though, because Briscoe seems to job a lot lately. I guess putting up the other guys or whatever you want to call it, but.
Well, it'd be nice was putting over newer talent, not the talent that's already been there.
Yeah. I'm just saying, as an example, it would have been better than doing what I refer to as the safe route. That's what that was. That felt safe.
Yeah. And also, unfortunately, it reminds me of there was a Royal Rumble way back in the day with Roman Reigns and stuff, and the whole stipulation was if he doesn't win the Royal Rumble, like he can't challenge for the title or some junk like that. So it's like you already know he's gonna fucking win because it's part of the storyline or whatever. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, anyways,
the next match is the 4-way between Dan Garcia, Dustin versus Dustin Rhodes versus Fletcher versus Sammy Guevara, and like I said, this was a stepping kind of match because Adam Cole had to vacate his title.
Yeah. So Adam Cole did come out. Yeah, and you mentioned a serious health issue, and he was talking in a way that he didn't know. Well, he says he's going to vacate the title when he comes back, but there's a chance that he may not come back. And it was an emotional moment. He was trying to hold back tears while talking. Yeah, and as he left, like Roderick Strong and them also gave him hugs and support and stuff.
And Garcia came out there and spoke a novel to him, and
Yeah. And it was kind of scary because we didn't know. I mean, now we know, I guess we know that it's a concussion. I'm not sure if it's 100% definitive, but they're saying it was a back concussion. You can give us details on that, Jack. But at the time, we didn't know. It's not like something like terminal or something. The way like he could Barry finished his sentence without like breaking down. I thought it was something a lot more. And not to say
Because-
the concussions aren't serious,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean. Something.
Yeah, and
about-
of course, when he said that, he said, "Oh, Adam Cole had to vacate the title." I said, "What did he do? He got pushed over by one of the fat boom kids." I think I said that, didn't I? Before he started talking, I was like,
I'm sorry, but Adam
And-
Cole is so scrawny that one of the fat boom kids like spears could land him in the hospital. But anyways,
yeah.
Will
of
we
course,
see Adam? But the real answer I have is, will we ever see Adam Cole, baby? And the answer is Adam Cole, maybe.
Okay, but yeah, can you tell us about the what was that slam that he did or something that landed
So
and it was by
so
Fletcher, wasn't it?
it was by Fletcher. It was during Dynamite, not Collision. It was during Dynamite. There was a spot where, so the spot was supposed to be Kyle Fletcher was supposed to hit. So imagine this is the side of the ring. He was supposed to hit him with a power bomb onto the apron, like Kevin Steen or Kevin Owens style. But instead, what happened was he picked him up, set him up, and instead his head went. So his neck went bam to the side of the ring, went bam, and then he went down. So side apron concrete. So, what exactly the details are of the injury? I believe it's more than likely a severe concussion, if not possible neck damage. But again, that's the problem. What happens when you deal, and I say this time and time again, this is the problem that you have when you try to do pop spots. You're more concerned with how it looks on camera than it being safe when you're doing it. And this is an example of that happening. And it sucks. But at the same time, it's like maybe it's best for Adam Cole to just walk away at this point. Because
Yeah.
it feels as though between his leg injury and the controversy with him and Britt Baker, and it seems like he's never been able to really get back on his feet, quite literally and figuratively. So at this point, if it were me, I would just hang up my boots. Maybe open up a wrestling school, maybe work outside, maybe work backstage. I don't know, but
I know Mark had an interesting. He said, "Well, Adam should just be like a manager or a commentator or a manager for who was it for
The
Kyle
Power Guy?
and Kyle and Roger."
yeah, that would make more sense. And I don't know. It's sad. As it pertains to the match that was thrown together last minute, I have kind of mixed feelings about the result, but the match itself was pretty decent. Like I said, especially considering it was thrown together last minute, you have to take that with a very big consideration.
And the voting
But
doesn't count because we didn't know at the time, so we're not voting
Right.
for.
Yeah, and we tried to get some in, but everyone couldn't get it in time, so we're just gonna do a pass on this one anyway.
Right.
But
So I'm kind of in a mixed opinion about it because everyone is like, it's so awesome Dustin got a title, which I agree.
I felt happy to be honest because I wanted him. I know he's a tag champion, but I wanted him to get at least one title run before he calls it a final.
Right. Right. But my other opinion, it's kind of like a double-edged sword for me. I'm like, I'm happy for him. Mm-hmm. Kudos to him. Good on him. But it's also two things that make it sour grapes for me. One, because of the circumstances of him not even, being originally in the match and him getting it. But the other thing is more of the fact that someone pointed out to me, they go, he has not had a singles title since 1996. That's longer than a lot of the roster has been alive. And I'm like, yeah, sad to say, but yeah, that's sad. But I'm like, in a way, I'm like, hey, more power to him. Cool that he got a title. But again, it's more, I'm a little more on the whole, it kind of sucks in the way because of, Cole's injury. It does taint it a little bit. But once he gets his first defense in, then I'll be like, good on you, bud. unless it was
But
like a
the
one and
thing
done. You know,
also people
I
were
want him to actually
saying,
be able to defend it.
yeah,
Hmm?
the thing though is that with the Cole stuff, you even have people like crying in the audience and everything, and it was like that just killed the whole mood, so to speak. And even though the match was going on, you
Exactly.
got your spots, the crowd was kind of dead, and I'm pretty sure that before all this happened, Fletcher was going to probably win it. Fletcher was going to probably defeat Garcia and win it and everything originally, and they said
Yeah.
that it would look kind of weird to have a heel win the title after Cole's speech and all the stuff. So this is like the feel good moment that we needed now, and that got everyone
No.
because the crowd popped, everyone woke back up again, the energy came back to the building, once he won it.
No,
So I guess at
know,
that point,
I was still shocked.
it's like what you said. They must have called it audible backstage. What do we do now? How do we book this? What do we do?
Well, yeah, because honestly, I mean, it's you remember this, Mark, the pay-per-view that happened all those years ago, and I know Johnny remembers it, where they had the horrifying cherry picker spot with Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara.
Oh yeah.
And then it tainted the match that was right after, which was Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker, even though that was the best match of the show. But the whole crowd was like, oh, fuck, is Matt okay? That's the whole thing they were worried about. So you took the air out of the audience and go, ooh, like that's kind of the same effect. It doesn't take it away from their victory, but it kind of taints their victory, if that makes sense. And I feel like
Oh, I'm sorry. I was gonna say so. Sammy has hurt both has hurt both of the Hardys.
Yep.
At some
yes,
point.
yeah. That's why they don't want to work there anymore.
Blame him. Okay,
Anyway,
sorry.
Anyway, no, but my whole thing of it is I think once he gets his first defense, everyone will be behind him. You know what I mean? Like he's just got to get past that first defense, because at this point it's kind of like getting a title is one thing. It's very difficult to do, but defending a title is a lot harder. So we'll see. That's all I'm going to say. We'll see. I'm happy for him. I'm very happy for him. And I'm glad he gets to add it to his resume and that he finally won a singles belt again after so long. It should not have taken this long, especially considering he's been in AEW. I'm not talking about in WWE, I understand. Since AEW, he was there day one. Like,
that was the main event. The first main event was Cody versus Dustin.
This is the same dumbass company who goes, let's put a secondary tag team title and the world title on the same guy, but we can't give this guy who's been loyal from day one a title. Stupid. Same thing with Hook, man. Is he still alive? Is Hook alive anymore?
He showed up that one time upset. Then he left. I mean, I don't know what they're doing with him.
Yeah, because he was like injured or something. So the Ops won the titles, but without him in it. Hobbs took his spot. So there was the one part where in the last pay-per-view, I think, where Hook showed up to help, but he kind of left kind of angry because like Hobbs took his spot.
Yeah, he did like one little thing there, and he was like, so Joe was like, yeah, come on, join us. And he left.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyway, but that's all my opinions. What do you guys think?
Well, let's put our notes real quick, then we'll ask Johnny's thoughts.
All right, so as mentioned, Adam Cole came out, announced what was wrong, then the match started. Anyway, Sammy, oh yeah, that's right. He did that he did his Garcia's dance before Fletcher attacked both of them. Dustin was going to, here's another note, Dustin was going to kick Fletcher. Oh yeah, in the balls. Yeah, then Garcia stopped him, and then he does it himself.
Yeah, they had Fletcher like tied up on the ropes in the open leg position, and Dustin was gonna kick him in the balls, but he tried to do it like the whole like, no, don't do it, man. No, that's you're above
good
that.
Man. Yeah,
you're above that. You're a good guy. I'll do it.
Yeah, and then Sammy, then Dustin was about to go to Sammy show. It was like, yeah, it's like no, man, let me do it. He kicked him, and then Dustin kicked him. I don't think Fletcher's having any children anytime soon. Mm-hmm. So let's see what else happened.
Oh God, so Sky Blue ain't getting none that night.
So anyway, Dustin ended up reversed a lion tamer from Garcia and then pinned him and won the TNT title. And the Von Erich came out to celebrate with him.
Yep. So your thoughts, Johnny?
Well, obviously the emotional speech that Adam Cole had, had people sad or whatever, because we were really concerned because, he really, and like what you guys said, and not to downplay the type of, especially the type of concussion he has gotten, because apparently he said there was times where he can't even like walk well or do anything much at all. So it had to be a really horrific concussion. I cannot imagine how bad it was. But at that time we were still wondering, well, oh my goodness, because I was thinking to me, like, man, maybe he had like cancer or something like that. Not to downplay concussion, because that's a big deal as well. I mean, I don't think none of us ever want to get a concussion to that magnitude, to that level, right? But,
yeah, I said I had that technically a minor one because I'm not throwing myself off of rings and hitting my heads on concrete. I just hit a wall. But even that was kind of uncomfortable. I can't imagine. Yeah, I can't imagine going through that.
Well, I also had a scary moment because I remember years ago I got injured in the workplace and I got hit in the head, and I thought that it could have been a concussion, and it was bad. It was still, they had to check the X-ray to make sure I didn't have any, and I didn't have any concussions. But the side effects at that time was still pretty bad. So I could imagine, not to go into details, right? But I could imagine how horrific, how like a million times worse it was to Adam Cole, because it actually was a legit concussion, But yeah, man, honestly, personally, I don't think he's not gonna come back, because if he is saying things that he couldn't even like walk well or get out of his bed well because of that, I don't think he's not gonna be able to do the whole rest. That's serious,
Like I mean, like, yeah, I have to agree with Johnny on that one. I mean, I can't, of course, like I said, I can't fully relate to that because, like I said, I got concussed, and yeah, I still have some of the symptoms even now, every once in a while. So. Yeah, I get it, and I just can't imagine for something that extreme. Because, like like a couple of weeks ago, I was having the neck pains again and the head pains, and I was had the headaches. I get vertigo occasionally, so yeah, so I just can't imagine doing that kind of work when your head is not in the right space or your neck isn't in the right space, because there's just so much stuff that can affect that, and all the moving, the aerial stuff, unless you change your move set, I don't see how he could even function in the ring.
That's the thing. After you got concussed, you had to change your whole move set. Like, you stopped doing the flippy shit. You had to focus on more like the grappling and the ground mat stuff.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God.
But anyways, final thoughts there, Johnny?
But guys, the match itself, it was a bit of a blur because, of course, but it was Daniel Garcia that was last minute, right?
No, the last minute was
Sammy and Dustin.
And Dustin, yeah.
Oh, Sammy and Dustin. Okay, so it was a little bit of a.
because they were in the 0 hour and they had their match in 0 hour, so they had to pull a double duty, so they put them in this match instead of just making it a. They should have just made. I'm surprised they made it a 4-way. They didn't just make it between Garcia and Fletcher. Mm-hmm. But I guess the thing is, they didn't want to put it on Fletcher, and they didn't want Garcia. So I guess the original plan was to have Cole retain, probably.
No, well, original plan, if Cole was healthy, was most likely to have.
No, that's what I mean. You think so?
That's what people were. I guess they were like really hyped up on Fletcher, thinking he was going to win it.
But then again, I thought I was kind of betting on Fletcher too. But
yeah, I think most of us were. But then, like, I think they added Dustin, because I was wondering about that too. That's so random. Why? I mean, I know whatever, but why those two? And I guess that's why they probably thought that Dustin's there. You got the Von Erichs there for the extra when they win.
Well, they were in Texas.
It'll be a feel good moment, and
and they were in
Texas too. Yeah, so there you go. You get a Texan to win, and of course, I mean, he's been, like you said, he's been around.
And the Von Erichs, and like I said, anyone who's a wrestling fan lived in Texas, especially a Texas wrestling fan, going to know the Von Erichs.
Yeah, And then, of course, you have the extra drama that they're a tag team, but since this is a four-way, they got to go up against each other. So there were a couple of times there was a little bit of friction between Dustin and Sammy. And even at the end, like when Dustin won, Sammy at first looked kind of pissed. And when everyone was celebrating or whatever, he did kind of hesitate a bit. But then he's like, come on, man, bring it in, but it still added that extra storyline drama. And even I was kind of mentioning, I was saying that's kind of interesting when he first announced that they're going to do that. I'm saying, so on the same night they had a match where they fought as a team, and now an upcoming match where you got to fight against each other because it's everyone for themselves in that kind of match. And at the time, we didn't know. Some people were even joking about they might even be pulling triple duty or something because they might even be in the gauntlet match too, which of course they weren't, but we didn't know back then,
But yeah, I thought it was so interesting match, and I did. Like most people did enjoy the ending that Dustin Rhodes won this match.
Oh, I felt so happy.
It took him.
I legit felt so happy because I know. Oh, sorry, go on, John.
It took him that long to get the title. I mean, he's like a veteran in the wrestling world. I mean, even for AEW, it's like, damn, it's about damn time he got the title. But hey, I guess it's never too late, right, guys?
Yeah, and that's the thing. I just because again, he's getting older and whatever. He's gonna retire eventually and stuff. And I really want him to have like a title at least one more before calling it a wrap. And I know that technically speaking, he is the Ring of Honor tag team champ with Sammy, but still tag team champ. I wanted him to get like an actual sum, and I guess the TNT title makes sense and everything.
I did like the whole the whole Texas thing, like, hey, Dustin Rhodes from Texas, so hey, it's a big victory for them,
And
yeah, throughout the pay-per-view, I mean, I did enjoy the very like Texas style of everything, like shit, even the arena was huge.
Alrighty, so our next match was the Swerve and Ospreay match versus the Bucks. So for this one, the stipulation was that if the Bucks won, then Swerve and Will would not be able to challenge for a world title shot for a year. And if the Bucks lost, they would lose their EVP status, within the company.
Yeah.
I'm interested in how that works, but okay. So for this one, Swerve and Ospreay didn't end up winning the match. Everybody went for their team except for DJF that went for the Bucks. Now, in all honesty, I actually did not mind this match. Maybe because the Bucks lost, but I thought the intros were a bit too long. Just,
they're very God. The Young Bucks showed up on the boat thing, wasn't it? And it was like just crawling, and even Ospreay was all like,
Come on, bro. That's taking too long, bro. We gotta jump off the rope soon, bro. I'm getting crazy here. I gotta do stupid spots, bro.
I'm getting the trippy shit withdrawals, bro.
So just a few notes here. Ospreay started hulking up against Matt Jackson. The long sequence of the Bucks doing kicks. And Swerve and Ospreay ended up slamming both of them down. They hit the Bucks with the hidden blade and the house call. They did double styles clashes. The Bucks ended up kicking out. Nana got super kicked. I forgot about that. Ospreay accidentally hit Swerve with the hidden blade, and think, conflict or something.
Yeah, I'm glad it didn't go. I was like, oh, don't do this, guys. I'm glad they didn't go there. They squashed that quickly.
And while Ospreay was kind of like incapacitated, I guess, Swerve ended up taking some hits for Ospreay from the Bucks, and then Swerve and Ospreay hit the Buck. Was it the Wait, the what? So he had to hit the Bucks with the house call and the hidden blade at the same time, which allowed those two to win the match.
Yeah, that was because I can't tell them apart. So it was one of them. It was either Matt or Nick. They got grabbed and stuff, and he took both the house call and hidden blade at the exact same time, while the other Buck was like, out of commission.
Now, here's my question, real quick: would you call that move the hidden house or the house blade?
I like the house blade. I like house blade.
Okay. I'm sorry. I just had to ask. I'm sorry.
I think for this match, like I said, I didn't mind it so much, and maybe because the Bucks actually lost. But with this type of stipulation, it's sort of like what like what Jack was saying earlier. Like, it could, I guess it could have gone either way, but the prediction was these two would not be able to do a title run, ask for a title run, and unless they're leaving for a while, which I doubt, and people like these two, you actually think that they would let them lose and not be able to get a title shot? So that's why I kind of went for them, in the predictions, because I said I just couldn't see them losing based on that stipulation alone.
Mm. For me, I like the
Um,
match, and I especially like the combination of like the house call and hidden blade things here and there. That wasn't terribly too long. I mean, they did have the typical Young Bucks super kick fest, but they always fucking do that. But it wasn't terribly too
Well,
long.
at least there were no exploding shoes.
Yeah, I'm glad they stopped with the stupid bullshit with the pumping the shoes up before doing a super kick. That was
it felt, and Wendy can vouch for me on this. This match felt like a Sentai fight.
That's
100%.
super Sentai fight.
It felt like a Kamen Rider versus Kamen Rider fight. It just needed the whoosh, 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 and then like the explosion when they turn and just like wah in the background. It was like so. I see what Cornette says about their fighting of like, oh, it's so choreographed. It is very much, but it is entertaining for what it is. But I do think I will say Ospreay, and to their credit, Ospreay and Swerve have good chemistry in the ring. I don't know what they're gonna do with that, but I do think they have good chemistry.
They gotta go after the Syndicate, damn it.
I like how they had the thing with their cooperate. How they were like not on the same page at the beginning, but as the match went on, they started to work better together. So I think that was, and I kind of like that too. So even I was thinking, well, why not make them a tag team? I mean, gotta give them something to do.
Yeah.
Mm.
Your thoughts, Johnny?
Kind of liked the match, but I wasn't thrilled about it at the same time because I personally thought that they were trying to give the Young Bucks way too much credit. They were trying to make them look good as wrestlers because there is no way in hell, there's no reason why Swerve and Will Ospreay took that much damage from the Young Bucks.
Thank you. I was thinking that too, because I was thinking about that too, because I'm like, these guys, okay, the Young Bucks 7 years ago, sure, they would be able to hold their own. They'd probably outmaneuver Ospreay and Swerve, but Bucks now, after how many surgeries and how long they've been gone, no. I 100% agree with Johnny. You're right. Absolutely. I didn't even think about that.
But not only that, but let's just be honest, the Young Bucks are not the greatest wrestlers in the world. I mean, in comparison to real talented wrestlers like Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay, you're still thinking, damn, why are they taking such a bad beating from the Young Bucks? Like it shouldn't cost them that much trouble for them to beat the Young Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but I think that they kind of did it in a way just so that the match could be kind of interesting in a way, but there were many times that I was like fucking worried, like, oh my fucking God, the Young Bucks better not win the match, because there's so many times in the match that I was thinking, oh shit, they're gonna win. They're gonna fucking win the match. And freaking Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland, they're gonna lose so bad, and it's just gonna be so embarrassing. So I was glad that in the end, despite all that, they were still able to beat the Young Bucks, which I'm glad they did. My whole dilemma was that the match was a little too long and they were trying to make the Young Bucks look credible as wrestlers. That's the only part that got me a little puzzled.
Mm.
The aftermath to that on Dynamite is that they had their match or whatever. They were trying to find where their room was. They were like in a boiler room kind of office type thing. They marked off EVPs on their little sign, and even with their intro video, there's like Matt and Nick, and they were showing scenes of them being beat by Will and Swerve, I believe.
Yeah,
and also yeah. No, the house bleed, yeah. And then you had the announcer that was like, how was he? I mean, even he was like, you're not respecting us by doing that now. But he just was grinning like
And like the intro now had like just like EVPs with the little cigarette no smoking thing through,
yeah,
or just
and
junk
even the
box in a very simple font.
the font is like Comic Sans or something. It's like
Yeah, and then during the match also, because they got so used to that when they do their combined super kick, whatever, they always be like EVP and then do it. And here they're about to do it, they just kind of like, oh fuck, we're not EVPs anymore, whatever. And they got distracted a bit by that. They still won in the end, though, I think, didn't they?
oh,
But
I don't remember. But anyway, and here's something else they had to do too, because in the other one they were talking, they had their limo or whatever, and Swerve used a crane to mess it up, and they was like, oh no, we're financially ruined, and they use company funds to pay for it. So for the matchup, on Dynamite, they're riding around in like a Nissan or something, and yeah, no more limo.
yep.
So I don't understand how this company works. How they get stripped of their EVP titles just because they lose a match. Did Tony fully agree to this? But then again, we don't know who's running the
Tony
company
feared for
anyway.
his life. They just sent Tony Storm in front of him. He's like, okay. I'll
Oh no! And they let her
get
read
the scary
her.
girl with the scary.
No, they let her read her. No. They sent Tony Storm to read her erotic Wendy Richter fan fiction, and that's enough to make Tony be like, "Okay, I'm sorry. I'll do what you say. I fear for my life." Okay, I'm done. I don't know. It's just weird. The whole thing's weird.
So on that note, next up we got the women's casino.
Women.
Yep, we got the women's casino gauntlet here.
And the winner was the wrestler formerly known as Ember Moon. So Athena. So anyway, the first person to come. The first one to Athena. I like that. But anyway, the first one to come in was Chris Statlander. Then after Chris Statlander, Megan Bain came in, then Willow, then Ty Mello, then Penelope, who wasn't, officially part of the match. She came in and she was going for the ropes, but suddenly Harley Cameron shows up, who's also not an entrant in this match. She shoved her off the top. Then Anna Jay, who's also not in this match, kind of chased Penelope out.
Oh. Real quick. I don't know if you guys. Real quick. I don't know if you guys actually know that Megan Bain, in real life, actually did completely fracture Harley Cameron's nose. It wasn't like
no.
Yeah, it was when she did the spot on the steps, and like apparently her whole top base of her nose, it just went like up, like all this just completely shattered.
I knew she was injured.
So she had to get a full nose reconstruction. Like she actually talked about it, and she had like pre and post surgery photos on her Instagram. So anyway, just wanted to
one thing I do want to mention about this match that's going to become a common trend is that all the people, like for example Megan Bain, were official entrants, but then the little stooges like Penelope Ford were like not official. They still jump in there, but they weren't like officially in the match. I originally thought, because of this part, since both Haley and Anna Jay chased Penelope out of the ring, I thought that maybe later on in the match Penelope and Anna Jay would come back as official entrants, but that didn't happen that way. But anyways,
so after all the situation with Penelope and them, after Ty Mello shows up, the Tekla, that's Toxic Spider, shows up, and then Julia Hart shows up with Sky Blue,
and Sky Blue is again not an official entrant.
Then Queen Aminata shows up. Then Mina Shirakawa, and then Mina gets Sky in figure 4, and he makes her tap, but doesn't count, because you're supposed to pin, and it's sort of like, Mina.
Well, no, because Sky's not an official entrant.
Well, even that, because you're supposed to pin him. That you can't. That's
submission. It counts, but the thing is, it just didn't count because she's not an official.
I thought it it was pinning only, not submission or anything.
Pin or submission.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, my bad. Anyway,
But yeah, that's the thing. Sky tapped out, and that's
that's the problem when you throw so many people in a match. You don't know who you're supposed to be pinning and smashing.
Yeah, but Sky tapped out, and for a moment, Mina Shirakawa was like, "Hey, I won!" Hey, but then it's like the referee said, "No, she doesn't count. She's not a legal woman. No."
Then Athena shows up. Then Thunder Rosa, which we knew was going to lose anyway. Then Sayuri shows up. She was debuting there.
Yeah, that's her big debut. She got on pop.
And then Alex Windsor, who cut like a little promo thing like a couple of weeks ago. And then Mina was going to do the figure 4 Thunder Rosa, but Athena hits Mina with the O phase, and she won the match.
Yep. So that means that she also has a title shot coming up whenever she chooses to. Now, 2 things I want to ask Jack real quick. If you could give us some background on Sayuri. Have you ever heard of her? I've never heard of her. I mean, she got a big pop, but I never heard of her. And number 2, Alex Windsor's been doing like little promos or segments about how she came back from injury. She's back. Hey, I'm kind of like, when was she around the first time around? I don't remember. Was she like on AEW Dark or something? Or
Well, you have to remember Alex Winter, but you have to remember she's with Mrs. Ospreay. So she has to get pushed.
Wait, what?
That's what you're talking about, right? Alex Winter.
Oh, she's Osprey's wife?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but
She's
the thing
Mrs.
is,
Ospreay.
she's coming back from injury. When was she even there? Like, when did she get injured, or what? Like, was she like on Dark or Dark Elevation or something, or Ring of Honor, or what?
I think she got injured on a house show she was working.
Oh,
I think. Who was the girl? Wait, I walked away for a second. Who was the girl you said that you got a pop and no one?
Beauty was like made her AEW
Suri.
debut,
Oh
and
yeah, that's
people,
right. I
like,
forgot to
got a
mention.
pop.
Suri is legitimately one of the greatest women's athletes on the planet. She is a Grand Slam Stardom champion, so she's won every belt. She let's see, she was like second in command of Donna Del Mondo with Julia. She is the only woman in wrestling history to have a championship in MMA, wrestling, and judo. Or not judo, jiu-jitsu. So she actually has 3 separate titles. And she, like I said, and she was trained by Suzuki.
About Murder Grandpa.
Yeah. So again, she's a beast. She is like, I mean, she's killing it in Stardom. She's like the top tier, one of the best that they have in their entire company, and she could take out pretty much any woman she wants. She's basically the equivalent of the female version of, not Kurt Angle. I guess the female version of Bryan Danielson. If Bryan Danielson and you mix a little bit of Aleister Black, she's kind of like that style.
With boobies.
I have a question. Now I'm thinking with Yuri here. Wait, did they say she's all elite or I forgot they said she was
debut.
I think it's a one and done.
Debuting.
Yeah, it's just a one and done because she's only got to do a couple things with Stardom or with AEW right now because everyone, from what I've been reading, Bushiroad is done with AEW after this year. That's what I heard.
Wait, who is?
Bushiroad, the company that owns New Japan and Stardom.
Oh.
That's why they won't have Gabe Kidd showing off the Global Championship. They don't have they haven't been using them properly. So they've been that's also why Mercedes dropped the New Japan Strong Women's belt. They had her drop it to a Stardom talent, and then just recently they signed Bozilla, who's a fucking monster in Stardom, and she won the Bozilla is literally, I know, stupid name. She is a female. I'm not even joking when I say this. She's female Gunther. I'm dead fucking serious. She's from Austria.
Oh.
She's 6'10", and she weighs 260 pounds, and she's pure muscle. She is a fucking beast.
That's scary.
Yeah,
That's scary.
and she beat,
we see a
and she
gap
beat,
that tall
and she and she slaughtered Azumi. Azumi is 4'11", and she. Oh, it was like, oh my
Pick her up
god!
and just shoot her like a javelin.
It was literally like, stop, she's already dead. Like,
Yeah, I
it's
just
literally
checked
that.
that she's not on the roster page, so I guess she's not all elite. I do see that
She's not.
Tekla is on the roster page, so she's
Yeah,
updated. But like,
Tekla did leave Stardom to go work for AEW because she was offered a contract with NXT, but she said she felt like she would have more opportunities with AEW, which is fair. And let's be honest, they do need her. She's fucking talented as shit.
now I'm confused why Ortiz is still on the roster page.
He is still working there.
Yeah, and Pretty Peter Avalon. I could have sworn those two got cut loose.
Wait,
No.
what?
They're still working there. Nope, they still work there.
I don't know. That's the thing I'm saying. I really do not know if they're still
Aval-
there. I think they're still-
Avalon apparently has been doing what is it? He does like he kind of works in the capacity with AEW the same way that Titus O'Neil does with WWE. He's just kind of like an ambassador. He's like, hey kids, you like AEW? Remember me? No. Well, here's some stickers. Like that's pretty much him. And you're like,
Why is that somebody here on the Simpsons? A character from the Simpsons?
Yeah,
like, that type
the
of
squeaky face.
Yeah.
all
Right.
elite wrestling.
Okay, your thoughts, Johnny?
But the
I
women's title. Yeah.
I thought that the women's match was very interesting, and it was nice to see what's Ty Meadow fighting again because it's been
Yeah,
hot.
she's back in action.
Yep.
Yep. So I like seeing that, and very short Thunder Rosa appearance in the ring, pretty much. But I was glad that Athena won this match, and I'm not sure was this the first time she was in she appeared in the AEW pay-per-view.
I know she's been in 0 Hour stuff before.
Yeah, she's been in the match.
But probably. I mean, I couldn't see her not.
I liked how, hey, Athena won, and hey, she's the powerhouse. She's the powerhouse. Can't mess with her.
So our next group here, our next match here is for the tag team championships. And it was the Hurt Syndicate versus Jet Speed versus the Patriarchy. And the Hurt Syndicate retained everybody. This was kind of a split one. The Hurt Syndicate won, but only Mark, let me see, Panda and myself, we were the only ones that went for the Hurt Syndicate, and everybody else went for the Patriarchy, which is interesting. So a few notes here. FTR came back out and they were on commentary. MJF was acting like a doofus during their entrance.
Oh yeah, with the herd people, whatever. He's all like, I don't know what the fuck he was doing, but it was just.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said, take that note there. Okay, Lashley ended up pushing Christian into FTR, and then Lashley got into FTR's face, and then shoved them into each other. Then Lashley ended up spearing Christian, and he pinned him to win. Now, the aftermath is that the FTR got into the ring as Christian was still out. The Nick Wayne ended up slamming Christian. The Patriarchy ended up turning on Christian, and they concertoed him.
So Mama Wayne, Nick Wayne, and Kip Sapien all turned on Christian at the last minute there. Like just saw him turn there.
Yeah, and then Cope. Anyway, Ed showed up for the save, and FTR ended up leaving the ring, and it was like, "Don't make us do it again. You're lucky we let you live." They were saying, "I said, oh come on, really, guys?"
Yep.
And then Ed told Christian that he needs to go find himself, and he left. Now, the aftermath of this on Dynamite, Edge was pretty much saying like he didn't go in there to run FTR off because of, to help Christian out. He went out there because he was just mad at FTR.
Yeah.
Christian just happened to be the collateral there. And he did mean when he said, like, he does need to go find himself. Then Stokely shows up, and he says that if Edge gets near FTR again, he'll get fined or some nonsense.
Yeah.
And then Edge was like, but Stokely came in with a bunch of bodyguards too, because he knew what was gonna go down. And then Edge was all like, let me get this straight. So I can't go after the FTR. I can't put my hands on them. But I can put my hands on you, right? And Stokely pushed all his bodyguards in front of him. Of course, he beat them up and
he speared him. Speared Stoke. Oh, the big Stoke, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And on top of that, there was a separate little promo with Nick Wayne talking about like how Christian deserved it. They're better off without him and stuff like that. And there was that one pay-per-view where Christian cashed in and he failed, and they're warning him not to do so. So they're kind of saying, "Nah, you were doing stuff on your own. We tried to advise you. You wouldn't listen. So we're better off without you, man." And blah 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 and all that. So I guess I don't know. I guess there's a faction or just patriarchy without the patriarch. I guess, but it looks like it's still Kip.
It's like the it's like the JAS. You know when the others got sick of Jericho and they all love.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens there with them and what happens with Christian in general whenever he comes back and stuff. We'll see how that goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the match was alright. It was more of the aftermath that I found more interesting, honestly.
Mhm.
That's about it for me. So, you guys, so what do you think?
Yeah, it was fine. I mean, I'm like, at this point, I'm just kind of like, I don't care about the patriarchy at all. I didn't really care too much because it's like the level of expectations you have, and then they're just like, okay, I guess this is
What
where
about
it
the
ends.
turn on them? The turn on Christian, or the return?
No, that's what I mean. I mean, like, this is where the story ends. Like, really, all this build up for this is bullshit. It's boring. It's stupid. I'm like, it's. I don't know. I was like kind of expecting. What I was expecting was. What I think a lot of the fans were expecting was that Nick Wayne was going to grow a soul and turn on Cage, and then have maybe one match with Cage versus him. It seems like that's what they were freaking building for months, almost a year now, and then it turns out it's like, nope, the double crosser got double crossed. Haha. Also, it was really fucking stupid because okay, what was really funny, they had what I referred to as a Jeff Hardy moment where they have Christian and he's there on the chair with a concerto, and Nick Wayne's like, and then Copeland's music hits. What does he do? Runs to the stage and like, yeah. I'm like, motherfucker. and then it cuts back to Wayne, and he's just like, and I'm like, hit him.
It was like, what is this crap?
It's like, that's your line. You're supposed to hit him now. It's like, that would be me if I was an FTR. I'd be like, okay, now you can hit him. Now. And then it was just also like, it's like, it's also, to me, it's really too little too late with, okay. In the modern day, who is the current tag team champions right now?
Hurt Syndicate.
Hurt Syndicate.
For AEW, yeah.
Okay. So your choices are, let's say they pull the trigger on what they're going to do, which is Adam Copeland and Christian Cage teaming up together,
To go up against FTR.
To go up against them.
That's what I'm thinking.
And they do that. In my opinion, that doesn't benefit anybody because it's going to be, at best, a top team jobbing to some old people, or they're going to have the champions who are also old people versus old people. So I'm at this point, I'm like, are you going to give any young talent any opportunities? Because now you got, I'm sorry, but I'm going there now. Because now you got Dustin Rhodes and you got two old guys as tag champs. At that point, just have Adam Copeland drop the belt to Ishii. At that point, or have whoever's the top, have whoever is the top champ just drop it to freaking, just bring back Ric Flair, have him drop it to Ric Flair. And at that point, I'm just like, might as well. You're like, why did you put that out in the world?
Ishii tag team match.
Oh.
And they could call it a chop-a-thon just for you. Chop, 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 chop.
So,
more chops than a deli. No.
So the bottom line is, this is turned to the AARP promotion, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Medicare and AARP, so y'all can qualify for it.
No, but Medicare on a pole match.
It's like, have you joined
the Medicare benefits?
Have you joined AEW yet? Did you get your half off elder special?
Oh no, Colonial Pin. Remember,
if you come in at 3 p.m., you get an extra side of hash browns. Anyway.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's bad.
Anyway, but my point of it is
our
like,
elders,
no,
people. We respect our elders. We just think we have too many elders
shit.
going on. There are too many elders in AEW right now.
We respect our elders more than AEW does.
Well, my point of it is, it's like I kind of just like, maybe for a one-off, but I don't want them to be an active tag team for me but that's me. I may be, do you guys really want to see those two active in the current day as busted up as they are?
Like Edge and Christian, huh? Yeah. I think for a nostalgia thing, it'll be cool, but
for like a one and done. But I'm talking about like a full year.
But for a full run, they probably shouldn't. But I think the problem here is that Edge is trying to get his final run in before he fully retires.
He already had a final run. Let it go.
I know, but apparently he didn't like his
final run, like Sting. How many final runs?
You need to be like Mike Hager. You need to be like Mike Hager. Put up the boot, lay up the boots, stay mayor until a freaking rocket launcher gets launched in your apartment. Other than that, shy of that, stop fighting people in the streets. Mark knows what I'm talking about.
Did you really just reference? Okay, no. Yeah, I have to agree with that. I mean, it's kind of silly. I mean, I would like the idea of Christian and Ed working together again, but not
like a one-off or two. Yeah,
not like that, because that is kind of bad. You got FTR there. I want to care about FTR again. They're not doing anything to make me care.
But
now that you saw Will Ospreay and Swerve, they could go after the tag belts. I would love to see them as champs. That'd be a cool fight.
Or how about FTR start trying to go through everybody, they're already heels now, then have Ospreay and Swerve take them out or something like that, you know?
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, what's your opinion, Johnny?
Okay, sorry, my volume was down. Personally, I really didn't care too much about the match, but it was kind of a unexpected thing that happened at the end. You know, with the whole what was it, Christian Wayne getting beat up or
Christian Cage got betrayed.
Yeah,
that part. But other than that, I really didn't give two shits about the match, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, this one was more about the aftermath because the Hurt Syndicate was going to win and they can't stop them or whatever. So
All right, so the next match is the women's world championship match or whatever, world title, whatever. And it's Toni Storm versus Mercedes Moné. And this is another one where everything was kind of split. So Johnny, Jack, and DJF went for Mercedes while Mark, William, and I went for Tony, and Tony did end up retaining. And personally, I think the only reason I went with Tony was one, I don't like Mercedes, and two is because her title wasn't on the line. So I was saying there is a good chance that Tony could retain. But I also was thinking along the lines of it depends on who won the gauntlet. And when Athena won, I was thinking Mercedes was probably going to win her match. But Tony ended up retaining. So we'll see where that goes. And Athena already threatened Tony, so whatever. So anyway, some notes here. Tony was sniffing all over Mercedes for some reason. Tony put her over her knee and started spanking her.
I like people were joking. One person was saying that Tony's doing what we all wish we could do, and someone else said, "Spanking what though? There's nothing there."
Oh my gosh. Tony
Girl's flatter than a pancake. Yeah. There we go.
Oh, the Tony did Mercedes's as what's the name calls it her Mercedes' stripper dance. Mercedes ended up jumping off the rope. She ended up knocking Tony and Luther down. She grabbed Luther's glasses and broke them in half, which means that Luther's just a little wimp. Mercedes ended up copying Tony's little, her move when she's rolling all over the ring. Let's see. Tony got Mercedes upside down and then kind of went to town on her.
Yeah, that was the weirdest thing. And the thing is, not just did it look like she went to town on her in her particular region, if you watched like Mercedes during the rest of the match, she had lipstick in that particular region. So, yeah, lips were locked with other types of lips in this match.
Tony got Tony did 3 Storm Zeros in a row, but Mercedes somehow ended up kicking out of it.
Now that was bullshit.
It was
because that was like the people do the thing where they do like the finisher twice to make sure that you won. This is it. 3 Storm Zeros and this stupid bitch still kicks out.
That's my problem with modern day wrestling. I mean, sorry. In my mind,
AEW.
finishers are supposed to be AEW that pissed me off with this, as far as I can tell. I don't remember ever seeing anything like this in WWE.
The only time I can remember it, sorry, not to interrupt you. The only time it's ever happened where they kick out of a finisher is like a huge moment match where it's like, holy shit. Like, most famous one I could think of off the top of my head, WrestleMania 25, Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, when he hit him with the tombstone and he kicked out, and you see Taker like what? Like, everyone in the crowd's like that is how you do it proper. But if every time you kick out and it takes 3 or 4 times, is it a finisher at that point? The one thing I will give kudos to, at least the One-Winged Angel, is a protected finisher. It's the only finisher in their company that's protected. So,
it's just so frustrating and annoying because I just hate it. I mean, I'm sorry, a finisher is supposed to be a finisher. And if someone kicks out of a finisher, it should be a super duper rarity, not the norm for like practically every single solitary person on the doggone roster.
Oh, by the way, also forgot to mention earlier, Suri, her finisher is called the what was it? It's called the Falling Angel. So I think that's what it's called. But it's the One-Winged Angel, except you know how like when he does the One-Winged Angel, he goes forward?
Yeah.
She does it, and she falls and flips with it. So it's like a full 360 onto you. And it's way more powerful. And no one's ever kicked out of it.
So get ready to see her do it like about 3 times in a row, and fucking what's her name? What's her name? Riho kicks out of it.
Riho? Is she still alive?
I don't even know. But
where's
where's
Hikaru Shida? Where's Hikaru Shida? Is she even around anymore?
I don't know. I know Yuka Sakazaki was in the recent 4-way match in Ring of Honor a couple of weeks ago, so she's still alive.
She was at the main. She was at Super Card of Honor, I think, too. But anyway,
So what finally finished off this match is that Tony had to do the Storm Zero off of the top rope in order to defeat Mercedes.
The
That is
Avalanche
like,
Top Zero.
oh, the Avalanche.
Avalanche Storm Zero.
Who cares? She should have been knocked out after the first Storm Zero. Lord have mercy. I just can't stand that so much. The match itself, in all honesty, I don't remember much about this match. It's more so the weird things Tony did that stood out about this match, as opposed to the actual stuff happening in the match as far as moves and spots go.
Mhm.
And the fact that Luther's just a little old wimp that can't take on a little 80-pound, 80-pound.
He's a butler now. He's no longer a wrestler. So
Anyway, he got smacked. Lord. Anyway, and it was a match. Mercedes lost. I'm glad she lost. It's the way she lost that kind of pisses me off.
yeah,
I think
do
she
like,
should have won. I think
during
they
the
should
media-
have, like I said to you guys before, I still think they should have put her TBS title on the line and just that belt, because then they could have crowned it as the undisputed AEW Women's World Champion. That's what it made more sense, because even it was a win-win for Mercedes, because even if she'd lost, it's not like she doesn't have 5 other belts.
Yeah, that's the thing for me too. I was confused because I forgot that detail. I thought it was belt for belt, so I was confused that Tony won but didn't get Mercedes' belt. I was thinking that Tony would be the one.
Oh, so you forgot that. See, I remembered that, but you forgot
Yeah,
that.
I was confused.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, like I said, if Mercedes' belt would have been on the line, I would have fully 100% bet on Mercedes. But since there was nothing on the line for her, so it wouldn't matter if she lost, that's why I went for Tony.
Now, one thing I do want to mention is just kind of funny. It was random. I even forgot what the question really was, but during the media scrum, some random dude, I guess, I don't know, I guess maybe he was just flustered because, oh my God, I'm talking to Tony Storm herself. Oh, fuck, you know? But he was like it was something like, the way he phrased it was weird. It was kind of, and this is like kind of how he said it. It was like, so how did you feel when you got up on the rope and you did the avalanche, your finisher, when you did your finisher? It's just like, I didn't know what the question was. I know Tony responded, but like, I'm like, what was the question? I like how he just fumbled until he just gave up
Like
and said your finisher. Yeah, your
like he was
finisher.
meeting his hero or something. But it
Yeah.
doesn't really matter because Tony could stick around long because she had to take Renee backstage to do
Oh
stuff.
yeah, she picked up Renee.
She said, she's like, Renee, I love your outfit. I must have you. Then she just got up and grabbed her. And Samurai Showdown style, picked her up and took her backstage. I don't know what happened there.
Yep.
But I'm pretty sure she may have enjoyed herself more than she would with Moxley. Okay, hi.
So now Renee's the one's gonna have lipstick down there. So, anyways, your thoughts, Johnny?
Sorry.
I don't think they've ever. I mean, WWE has never done anything like that, have they? I mean, I think the closest they've ever done was
In the Attitude Era. In the Attitude Era, they did worse. But the modern era, it's sad. It's disgraceful to me. I'm sorry to say this. I'm not trying to be a prude here. But to have WWE do an entire women's pay-per-view that was honestly banger to banger to banger to banger, and then AEW like, we'll show you, and that's your A material? I'm like, come on. I'm not saying the match was bad, but it was more gimmick over substance. There was more like, ooh, than there was actual wrestling. And that pissed me
That's
off.
kind of like, okay, you just described it better than what I could, because that's pretty much where I was going with that.
Yeah, sorry, Johnny, what were you saying? Sorry.
I was about to say that I actually thought the match was good, but I think it was too gimmicky with a little bit too much risque elements into it to actually enjoy the match for what it was supposed to be. So take it as you will, but yeah, I don't know. It was a little weird, to be honest.
I just want to see, like, okay, once or twice, maybe I'm cool with it. But when you do it so frequently, at that point, it's not. At that point, it's part of your moveset. At that point, it's like you're wrestling less like Goldust in the later years and now you're acting like Goldust in the early years, where you would spend more time with the opponent, like holding him down and going they're like, like spending more
Scaring
time getting
people.
a shock value.
Yeah, the
than you
shock
are actually
value.
wrestling.
And Scott Hall saying, I ain't working with this dude.
Yeah.
You better lay off.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. But that's the thing is like that's not. I get it, but I'm like, this is supposed to be your top 2 women in your company, and I really do believe that you should expect more from your top 2 women wrestlers. I mean, granted, that's the top 2 in their company as far as their rankings. In my opinion, their top 2 women are Toni Storm and Athena, but that's me.
I did like the fact that finally freaking Mercedes Monet lost this freaking match. It's about damn time. I was
And
actually
remember, when I'm voting for Mercedes, I'm not voting for her. I'm voting for her creative control. And apparently Tony Khan is pissed off that the fans are constantly bringing up her creative control. And they go, well, that shouldn't play a factor in them deciding if they like her or they don't like her. I'm like, she's the one who came out and said she had it. Of course everyone's going to hate you for it.
And of course, Toni Storm had to do her big celebration the next day with all her innuendos. And yes, I am the home that you all adore and all that stuff. And I brought all the shit, all the stuff.
Champ is still your champ.
Yeah, that was the one she closed off with. And then, of course, Athena, said her stuff. So that sets up that match and everything.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys, we're winding down to our last 2 matches of the night. So next we have Okada versus Kenny Omega for both of their titles, the Continental Breakfast, whatever, versus Kenny's whatever and whatever he had. So they can unify the 2 titles. So for this one, everybody went for Kenny except for Jack. And Okada ended up becoming that champion. And Kenny is Kenny's out. So anyway, let's just start off with a few notes here. It started off with Jason Miller, and he was singing this song from Shadowbringer. So I was fangirling. I was like, oh my God. Shadowbringer's like one of the best arcs in Final Fantasy 14. But anyway, ignoring all of that. And that's where I invested most of my time with playing. So anyway, Don Callis ended up beating up Kenny while he was down, but Callis is on commentary as always. Rocker Romero came in, Ibushi dealt with him because he was helping out. Callis ended up distracting the ref in a dumb way. Okada tried to grab Kenny, and then Kenny ended up slamming him with the one-winged angel, but apparently it's not a finisher anymore. And he pins him, but then that's right.
No, that
was a finish.
It is
and
a protective
pulled,
finish.
That's right. Yeah, because Callis interfered and he pulled the ref out before he could do the count. And the ref got knocked. The ref got Yeah, he stepped on him. That's right. And Ibushi and Kenny called for a new ref, and Aubrey came in and she took over. And Callis was about to pull out Aubrey before Kenny pinned, but Okada hit him with the Rainmaker, and he won the match.
Yep, and one thing I do want to mention, I did not know, but I did say we were commenting week after week how like the scar keeps getting worse or weird for what's his face and how it never heals. And it wasn't until I saw the media scrum, and I know it should have been obvious for me, but he was doing an interview with the media scrum thing without the scar. So that tells me that it was pain. No, you're dead to the world. You were sleeping.
Sleep. Wait for this.
No,
some of this.
But yeah. Well, I think I have woken you up being like, Wendy, look, he don't got the scar on his head. What the fuck? I guess it's painted on and stuff like that.
No, are you talking about the Callis scar? The scar he has?
Yeah.
No, it's real. It's still real. He just had he had
yeah, but he didn't have it at all. He was doing the scrum, and there was like no spine
cover. I think the problem is he hadn't fully covered up because the back on Dynamite, it was like front and center.
You want to know how he actually got that in real life? It wasn't the screwdriver, because they were using that as the excuse of why it happened. What actually happened? I'm not joking. Right? He actually talked about this. He said, what happened was they were doing a moment. It was like a backstage segment with him and I can't remember who. And John Moxley was like feuding with someone on the Callis family or whatever. And Moxley, it wasn't scripted. Moxley pushed him and he fell. He fell face first and he sliced on the prong of the camera, the stand. So the camera stand literally went like straight up his head. He's like, "Oh fuck!" So he can't. That's why they did that whole thing of him like, he's like, "You look what you did."
Wait,
So
I just thought of something we didn't mention. Isn't Moxley being AEW being sued by somebody that works
yeah, it
there?
was a cameraman who he shoved because it wasn't part of the script. He just like shoved him, and then the cameraman apparently suffered some internal damage or something. And
Yeah,
everyone's like, it's wrestling. I'm like, but that doesn't excuse just shoving a random camera, dude. He doesn't work as a wrestler.
Yeah, he
That's
wasn't
bullshit.
scripted to take that bump or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just some guy. He was literally just there. And it wasn't even part of the script. The guy was just standing there holding the camera. He goes, yeah. I'm like, why? Why? That's like imagine you were filming a movie and you're supposed to be walking down the street and you just randomly like deck an old woman and just keep walking like some random woman.
You know what that make me think of, right?
Mm.
Nicolas Cage and Wicker Man when he went and punched
the bear. The bear.
Punched the woman in the face.
What's the problem, sister? Best fucking scene ever. Anyway, go on with what you're saying. Sorry.
Well, one thing, what were your thoughts on the match in general, Jack? Was Okada actually awake for this one? Was he actually doing effort for this one?
I think he was doing I want to say he was doing about
Maybe 60%.
little about actually about 70, give or take 70. But it was nowhere near even a fragment near their last match. The last match is still considered one of the greatest matches of all time. It went 70 freaking minutes.
Dang, man.
It was a 70-minute 2 out of 3 falls, and they had breaks in between. It was that intense, and it was literally like no one had ever seen anything like that. And it was like at one point he hit Okada with the one-winged angel, but Okada technically kicked out. He didn't mean to. It was literally when he hit him, he was so close to the rope. Okada's leg was just right under the rope, and as the ref was like, "What? Oh!" Like everyone's like, "What? He kicked out at 1." I'm like, "Well, he didn't kick out. He kind of fell out, but all right." But anyway, my point of it is it was a good match. It was a good, solid match, but it's clear time has taken a toll on Kenny and injuries and 7 score and 25 intestines ago. It's kind of going to take a toll on the dude. I'm sorry, but he can't. I'm sorry. He's not going to be able to wrestle like he used to. I'm sorry.
People were predicting that Okada was going to win this one because they couldn't see Kenny defending the title ongoing and all.
And I didn't think about that either when I made my prediction. I didn't think about that.
I mean, granted, I was also like I said, like that's the thing. I was always like, would I have loved to have seen one last match between them? Yes. And this was a pretty good match. I just don't think it was up to the caliber of their style of matches from the past, where it was like I said, when they fought back. I highly recommend, if you have New Japan World or have time, watch the old Kenny versus Okada 1 through 4. It's amazing how good they were. But by that same argument, I also say that's why I get pissed off at AEW, because Jay, unlike Kenny has a two victories out of 5, and Jay has 5 out of 6. So, yet, job to MJF. Anyway. But no, this match was good. I thought it was pretty solid. It was fun. It was decent. It was, I figured some shenanigans were going to go by. But I kind of wish that didn't. But as soon as I saw Don Callis out of the ring or out in commentary, I'm like, okay, I see where this is going. All right.
Mhm.
It kind of tainted the match for a lot of people, me included, but I didn't hate it. I thought it was fine. I'm happy Okada won, but it seems like Kenny can't really keep up with long-term wrestling anymore. From what I can gather, like a lot of people keep saying he keeps taking more and more time off, and I'm like, well, it's probably because his body's wearing out. I mean, he pushed it past its limits, and it's bound to wear out eventually. That's my theory, though. But what do you think, Johnny? What'd you feel about the match?
I don't really remember too much about the match, but it was definitely a tense because it's Okada versus Kenny Omega. And I think it was still a good match for what it's worth, but yeah, you can tell that Kenny Omega is not really I don't know, is not in his best shape anymore. It's very obvious that he is very injured. So, he could only make the best out of that. But yeah, it is kind of sad in a way to see Kenny Omega in that current state, but it is what it is. But it was still an entertaining match in general.
Yeah, I mean, I figured they would do more of an effort because, they keep hyping up and showing all the footage, obviously their younger selves for the previous matches. It's like, I mean, Okada had to try more. And to be fair, Okada did look more, kind of annoyed and whatever with Kenny, and not so much like the whole, oh, I don't want to be here. I'm just here for a paycheck. He did look like he wanted to, try and mess Omega up and everything. And stuff like that. But yeah,
Well, he did say he wasn't gonna kill. He should have killed him and all the other stuff in one of his promos. But
yep. Only in wrestling can you get away with making like murderous threats and like no one calls the cops or nothing.
No, I'm gonna say that. No, only in AEW can you openly sit around and say you want to murder people. All right, guys, it's the big one, the final match of the pay-per-view. Moxley versus Adam Page in a Texas death match for Moxley's title. I didn't want a Texas death match, so I didn't pay much attention. But
you were half asleep, and also because all the blood and stuff.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention. I'm doing something on my tablet. But anyway, so I was in and out. But anyway, Adam Page did win, and everybody went for Page for this. Because I think even they are realizing, like, everyone's sick of this Moxley crap.
All right.
Anyway, so Hangman's face theme is back apparently, and
his original theme.
Yeah, and I hadn't heard it so long, I kind of forgot it existed. And Mox, there was a sign. Now I did see that.
Yeah.
Because there was a sign that said, "If Mox wins, we riot." Somebody in the audience had a sign that said that. Let's see. Heyman ended up stabbing Moxley with a fork.
And that's your blood of the evening.
Then Moxley ended up strangling him with some barbed wire. Marina took a bite out of Heyman's hand. Oh gosh. Yuta came in, but he got punched by the barbed wire. He got punched. Yeah, he wrapped it with the barbed wire and got punched.
Yep.
And Paige leaped off the apron and he ended up slamming Marina through a table. Okay, I do remember that, but you could tell that he took most of the damage for that. Claudio and Wheeler Useless Yuta came in and they beat Paige down. Then Ospreay came in to help. Then Gabe did a power driver on him because his goons had to be around. Onto the floor. He jammed a steel chair on Ospreay's neck that he's taking out on a stretcher. And during that point, we were thinking, so why is Ospreay out here without Swerve? Okay, so anyway, keeping going on with that, Moxley ended up suplexing Paige onto the barbed wire table, but they're both down. Then all of a sudden, Bryan Danielson comes back and he hits Skeeve. Yeah, I didn't miss some of. No, I remember. Yeah, I did see this.
Yeah,
and then Claudio, and he uses little yes kicks, and then some little skinny thing came down from the rafters, and it was Darby Allin, and he used what was it?
Darby Allin came back from Mount Everest.
Yeah, was still roll from the top. And then the Young Bucks super kicked Hangman and kicked him. You know, they showed up and they super kicked him. And then Mox told Marina to get the briefcase. And then Nana, when she was reaching for this briefcase, Nana popped up from under the table and handcuffed her to it. And yeah. And then Swerve came in and gives chains to Hangman. And then Mox is hanging, and straight did his little hanging move, and Mox ended up tapping out. So what's interesting about this is some of the was it before when Swerve and Paige were talking before all of this, he left the chain for Paige, and they ended up using it for the match. So
Yeah.
Thoughts on the match? Like I said, I don't like the blood, but I'm glad Mox just lost. I wasn't. It's like I was only maybe 10% invested in whether or not who would win or lose, because I don't like these kind of matches in general. Because like I said, I don't like bloody matches. I never have, and I never will, because they overdo it sometimes, and it's a Moxley match, so.
Yeah.
But it was just all the shenanigans. Everybody and their mama came in there. I was like, so where's Willow? And that's something else we point out about Marina. Marina just like, is trying to take all the hits for Moxley and stuff. So yeah, did you create some kind of storyline with that alone?
I'm gonna say what everyone else is thinking. This was AEW doing a crappy version of WrestleMania 40's ending. Think about it. How did WrestleMania 40 end? It had Cody versus Roman. Then interference, counter interference, interference, counter interference, interference, counter interference, interference, counter interference, unbeatable odds, and then he wins. Like that's literally the same thing, except the way it's so funny the way you described it, because it's like a little kid describing the ending of Endgame. That's what it felt like. And then he came out, and then he did a kick, and then the girl, the meanie girl, she's in the ring, and then he gets a fork and he stabbed him. And it was all boo, and that's what it felt like. I'm like, what is this shit? What is this shit? Just call it. Don't call it the death. Don't call it Texas Death Match.
One thing I forgot to mention is that
call it what it is. Call it. Don't call it the Texas Death Match. Call it the Yeehaw Bloody Boom Boom match. That's what it fucking should be called.
One thing I forgot to mention is that they had broken glass in the ring, and Moxley dragged Hangman across it and everything too, to add to the fun. I mean, in my opinion, I like the match though, in the sense that I'm glad that Hangman won. He's a champion. We finally get to see the briefcase opened up with the belt and everything. It came full circle for Hangman's story. People have been saying it's like a story ever since basically day one of AEW. The only thing that was pissing me off though, it was dragged out a bit too much during like the beginning, the outside interference, and it was pissing me the fuck off because they had all the build up with Swerve and all that, and all the people that wanted to help take down Moxley, fight for AEW. So they're doing all the cheating, and it goes on, and I'm like, dude, where the fuck is Swerve? Where's like Briscoe, Willow? The hell? I was getting pissed because I was like, oh, don't you dare make them like still win somehow and whatever, that kind of shit. And the thing too is that Swerve came so late to the match, and there were so many like close calls with Hangman. I'm like, dude, what if like Hangman already lost by the time your fucking ass comes out?
I don't even get me started on that dumbass Return of the Jedi ending shit. That look that he gave at the end, where he's like, and he literally took that photo and on his Twitter went, "See you around, Hangman." And I'm like, what kind of? And literally, people photoshopped him doing that face into literal things. Like they put him in the the passenger seat at the Fast and the Furious part with Paul Walker. They photoshopped him to be a Jedi. The background of Return of the Jedi.
You know, that
I'm like,
no,
it's so true.
I like the one where they photoshopped the Street Fighter 4 stuff with the win quote, like he just won the
Yeah,
match.
and he's like, yeah, exactly. It's
No,
true.
I was gonna say, well, you might as well just throw in the entire roster and him just doing this, and then they'd be the Ewok celebrating.
I'm like, when I saw that, I was like, see, I went old school. I'm like, you did not just fucking Mr. Miyagi this shit. Like you did anything. You didn't do shit. You just stood there.
Now
like, I'm like
more.
Here
He
thinking,
got Marina out of there.
There's a great line. Okay, so this is a little bit of a tangent. There was a thing on Busted Open Radio. This is before All In happened. And it was Bully Ray talking to I forgot the guy who was always yelling and screaming. But he basically said that no. He's on their show. I just can't remember what the hell his name is. Anyway, he said that when Hangman wins and he holds up that belt, the whole crowd is gonna pop. And Bully said, but are they going to pop? He's like, but the question I have is, are they going to pop because it's Hangman, or are they going to pop because they haven't seen the belt in over 9 months? Because if that's the answer, then it didn't have to be Hangman. It could have been anyone.
That chair over there could have won that match, and I would have been popping for it.
Because you're like, and I got into a huge hated debate. You guys saw it. I got into an argument with this asshole who's like, well, it's genius because it makes the AEW world title like the Holy Grail. By not seeing it on TV, it pisses off the fans and makes it more intriguing. I'm like, by that logic, the spinner belt would be considered the greatest belt design of all time because of how much it pissed off everyone. That's the stupidest argument I've ever heard. It's the high hachi mindset. And Mark knows what I'm talking about with Tekken. Well, I threw you off a cliff to make you stronger. I was 6. What the hell's wrong with you? That's the logic. It's like, no.
Well, stronger now, aren't you?
And
you're stronger, aren't you? I prove my point. Like, it's like, no, you asshole. Like, it's that level of dumb hoops you have to push through to make that work. Again, the match was fine. A little too much cluster shenanigans going on. So I was kind of like, it was kind of more distracting than it was interesting. Because it was just like, and then he's gonna whoop. And he's gonna whoop. I'm like, no, let me finish.
And then you know what? I'm surprised they didn't bring back all the other people that's on the milk cart. Oh, it's Keith Lee. You know, they should bring back people off the milk cart to help out Adam Page or something.
Now, some people did comment though that Moxley did, a very good job selling with the whole choking and all that kind of stuff.
Well,
It's hard to notice because you're in the moment. You're like, oh my god, what the But when you actually see, he was sitting on the apron the whole time. He was no real danger of actually getting choked. He was sitting on the thing. But you're watching his movement.
He probably like being choked. He probably like being choked.
You know what's funny, Wendy? You know what's really funny when you said that? I was literally thinking. There's a scene in a later episode of Family Guy. I was thinking that when I was watching that. Where it was Quagmire and he was like beating up his sister's boyfriend and like he choked him out and thought he killed him, and then like he sneaks into his car and runs him down. He's like, I choked myself harder than that, you son of a bitch, and hits him with the car. Like, that's what I was thinking Moxley was gonna do.
Oh god. One thing I do want to add in the scrum, I didn't want to say it earlier because not to spoil it, whatever. But whenever Tony picked up Renee and took her to the back, someone was like, "Oh man, Mox lost the title and his girl on the same night."
It's true. Anyway, but no, I think it was just a little overboard. I mean, I know it's the biggest show of the year, but you can't have. Actually, let me look this up real quick before you go ahead, Johnny. I just had to look up something real quick.
Oh, well, I'm just going to make it real quick because I personally, didn't care too much about the match just because John Moxley's in it, and the match, as you could expect, was extremely bloody. It was too long. It's like, damn, I just want this shit to be over with. Because I'm sorry,
the
guys, for pay-per-view. After that, it's like you want that shit to be done already.
Because I just looked it up right now, and it's on the Wikipedia page. Just the Okada and Kenny match and the Hangman Moxley match combined is an hour and 5 minutes.
Oh my god! Because like what Johnny was saying, it just went on too long. I was like, oh my god, well, just hurry up and end so I can go and play my Final Fantasy 14 stuff. I wanted to hear the Shadow Bringers intro in full, and I wanted to show him the whole, the little cinematics that go with it. Because it's like, oh, there was like a cool part of the game, and you're like in both worlds, and it's like,
But like I said, I was just like, there's a lot ironic in this match, but there's a lot you could have cut out of this match. Not with a fork, but actually cut out of this match.
Wait, God,
like
not
actually,
either, right?
That was a pizza slice.
And I felt like the match was going too long because I don't know if it was like this when it was taped live, because I watched it on repeat because I was working the day of the pay-per-view. So I had to watch it like the day after. 2 days actually. I watched like half and half because it was like this thing is too long. But anyways, going back to it, I did notice that towards the end, the final parts of the match, I felt like the footage felt a little like fast forward, like whenever the time compression's like okay, this shouldn't end already, I guess. So I'm kind of getting the impression that it's getting too long when the final parts of the pay-per-view look like it's going a little bit on the fast forward speed mode. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed that, but I did notice that.
No, it did. It felt. I know what you mean. You mean like how the spots just kept going. Da, 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 da. It's kind of like, all right, kids, move it. Come on, we gotta hurry. Yeah, I get
We're
what
only
you mean.
here for 15 more minutes, or we got to pay extra for the lease.
Yeah,
it's like
don't forget, it'll be like Steve. We had to cut him off. So it's a little speech here.
It felt like being in working at a trampoline park. You go, all right, kids, you got 5 more minutes. Jump as much as you can. All right, let's get this going. Come on.
But
jump your butts on out of here.
But it's actually like the footage, like they actually did speed up the.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, it felt a little speed up, at least when I saw it.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. Because we saw it live.
Connection was crappy.
Maybe it was the rerun. Who knows? But overall, I would say
it looked a little like everything's moving too fast, and the referees do that. It's like, they just want that shit down.
I will say, from A to Z about this show, overall, I'd give it maybe a C plus. No, B plus. I'd give it a B plus. But everyone that's going, it's the perfect show. No, it's not. Shut up. It's not. Everyone that's going, it's the greatest of all shows they've ever had. And then I'm like, okay, first of all, Mark and I remember a couple years back when they did a WrestleMania that was 8 hours long. You remember? And that was a chore. This show, including the pre-show, is 8 hours long. So don't give me this shit. No. Just be a mark and be a mark. But don't tell me it's the greatest thing ever. Legitimately, one of the things that I like, I have the mentality of like, one of the things that I'm really appreciative that WWE is doing, and I wish AEW would do this a little more, because they have the potential. Obviously, they got the talent, they got the in-ring work. Obviously, it's like you have to ask yourself this question: would you rather have a ton of spot matches, like a couple spots, or would you rather have like 3 or 4 or 5 like really good paced, well structured matches from A to Z? Because for me, I'd rather have the latter, but that's me. And a lot of people are like, no, I want more for my buck. And I'm like, okay, so in my mind, it's like,
okay, bro, we need the spots, bro.
Yeah,
you got trust
I'm sitting here thinking, it's to me, it's the equivalent of to me, it's the equivalent of would you rather have a really good fine dining experience of like a 5-course meal, or would you rather have a buffet? It's like you're going to get a lot of food regardless, but it's still the point of like, do you really want to have egg rolls on top of your pasta on top of your ice cream at the same time? Like, at that point, you maybe should fucking tone it down.
Go
That's
to
all
a
I'm saying.
CC's buffet. Would you rather have a
No,
CC's buffet or go to a real classy, Italian restaurant?
Yeah,
Where-
just have
where
like a
the
series
menus
of
don't have
meals.
prices.
Like, yeah, you've been to like a place with like multiple
if you take me to CC's.
Mhm.
What are you saying? What are you saying, John?
I said, Mark, it's over if you take me
No,
to
I'm saying
CC's.
it's like comparing going to the CC's buffet instead of one of the more fancier Italian restaurants where the menus don't have prices.
Ooh.
Yeah, basically.
Please
What are you
take
saying,
me
Johnny?
to what are them
Yeah,
places?
this interview does feel like a cheap buffet.
Yeah. And
Now-
again, it's fine if you want some food. That's fine, and you like it's like the equivalent. I
Don't get me
remember
wrong,
someone
I
said
like
this.
buffets, but like
No, it's fine. But I said this to someone. You don't. There's a great line I remember that someone said that said, "No one eats McDonald's for the flavor. They eat it for the convenience." It's the same principle of it has its place. Just like how I'm not a fan of like CZW or GCW with all that death match, crazy blood shit where they have like, let's have each other smash each other with LEDs and then I'll see you at Walmart tomorrow. Okay, bye. Like, fantastic. It's just not for me. It's for a lot of people, it's not for me. But I'm also like, that to me is like fast food, whatever, cheapo burger, whatever. But I'm like, hey, I'm not going to diss you for liking it, but I am going to diss you if you compare that McDonald's cheeseburger to me eating at this fucking steakhouse I just paid $80 for.
What are you talking about? You better be taking me there.
But hey, even when it comes to fast food, I mean, McDonald's is, I'm sorry, but McDonald's just
It's
at the lowest of the low of the
Okay,
food
well,
chain.
back
I'm
on
just
point,
saying.
though.
I'm saying like no one eats McDonald's for the flavor. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they like, oh, it's there. It's like shit. I got little money. All right. It's kind of like Jack in the Box. I have a Jack in the Box near my house. I eat there all the time. But I don't eat there because I'm like, I love me some Jack in the Box. I'm like, well, I don't have much money. All right, they're open.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
But on that note, my understanding of what I saw online, a lot of consensus is that the show was kind of so-so or kind of dragged or kind of felt like an episode of Dynamite until we got to the triple main events. That's when shit actually picked up and all that stuff.
It's still kind of stupid that they have triple main events instead of a main events. I think that's silly.
Well, like what's it called? Like they used to, they New Japan used to call them double main events, but they weren't really, because it's like, but it would be because they had two big title matches or something. But like, that's I'm like, I agree. I think I'm in the same sentiment that CM Punk said. It's like, no, there's one main event and it's the close of the show. That's why it's called the main event.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it's true. It's true.
But yeah, personally, this pay-per-view, I felt like it was way too long. Even a 0 hour felt too long.
Mm-hmm.
It felt long. And then the actual pay-per-view was too long. So personally, the matches that I felt were the longest was obviously the John Moxley one, because all the John Moxley matches, for some reason, they always have to be super dragged out, like super long, super annoying, repetitive, bloody.
I really wish I could have seen, because I really think it could have been the sleeper match of the night. I really wish I could have seen Cole versus Fletcher. I think it might have had a potential to be match of the night. Possible. Not top tier, but like the match like, oh shit, like low expectations and going in and you go, oh. But like in a weird way, it was like I was expecting Mercedes and Storm to be that, and I was just like, like I said, it was more like woo than it was actual wrestling. And I'm like, damn it, you two are considered two of the best wrestlers, and I want to see wrestle.
I also felt like the swerve. I'm sorry if I'm interrupting.
No, go ahead, Johnny.
Oh, but I also felt that the Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay match versus the Young Bucks, I felt like that match was way too long.
Yeah,
So it was
they had
that
way
match, in my
too.
opinion.
That stretched way too far. I
And
agree.
it
That
was
was
the Hangman Page match, but John Moxley, so of course that match is going to be long regardless. Those
Yeah,
were
exactly.
the two of the longest match I thought that pay-per-view had, and
They were. Yeah, they actually
yeah,
were.
maybe in the 0 hour, maybe the Big Boom match was kind of long as well. But yeah, other than that, I mean, the
They didn't have
pay-per-view
those fat
not like
kids
it's
in
a
the way.
mixed
They
bag.
have to go so long. They got to give the fat kids something to do.
Yeah, I think there could have
feel
been
like
a lot of matches trimmed down or completely changed.
Mm,
I would have rather, like you said, I think the Swerve match, Swerve and an Osprey match could have been trimmed down. I think they should have got rid of. Okay, I think they should have got rid of all those matches on the pre-show and just made the battle royals. Like just have the battle royals, and then maybe get that way. That would cut out a lot of the fat and excess time in the actual show. And then you could have put the trios title match on like the upcoming Dynamite or whatever. Like that's what I would have done. Like cut some matches, cut some time spots, because there was a lot of shit that was just like, okay. Like with the Hangman Moxley match, it was more the weapons doing the work than them actually doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, at this point, you're either still grossed out by it or you're desensitized by it. And I'm at the latter.
But the thing is, Moxley always seems to find some new way to gross you out, even though you think you're used to the blood. He finds some new weapon, or he bites this or bites that, or
It grosses me out.
I don't know. That shit always grossed me out, to be honest.
Yeah, same. And I'm like, there is a place for blood in wrestling, but I do believe that there has to be a limitation on how you.
There has to be a limit.
Like, yeah, I mean, outside of deathmatch wrestling, because that's deep indie shit. Like, there's a reason they don't do that on mainstream anymore. Like, hell, even TNA doesn't do it anymore.
Macho bullshit.
Yeah, basically. But I really do feel, and I'll send you guys the link to watch it. I really do recommend watching Evolution. It is legitimately an amazing pay-per-view.
Yeah,
I feel like
it's wrestling, so I'm sure I recommend.
I've heard a lot of good things. Like I said, I know one person actually. Oh, this is ironic. I know someone that went to see Evolution, that was there for Evolution, and I know somebody that went to
All In.
All In.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like I said, it just feels. It goes back to that thing I'm always saying over and over. It's not quality. It's not quantity. It's quality. You can have a shit ton of matches, but if they're all kind of it doesn't really matter. Like literally, I really do think Supercard of Honor, the match with Athena versus Thunder Rosa, that was a better match than the Storm versus Mercedes match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it had more back and forth. It had more storytelling. It had better spots, and it was better paced. I think the match was like little over 15 minutes, but it didn't feel like it. It felt like a 7 minute battle. Like, damn. Like they were like, I'm like, damn, these girls are quick.
Now, I haven't seen Supercard of Honor, so how is that one compared to All In?
It was a lot more concise. Like the first, I want to say the first 3 matches were kind of slapped together. So it was kind of like, oh, we'll have a Lucha Libre match. We'll have a tag team match. Well, didn't really have any effect. But when it got to the actual titles, that's when it started getting, oh, this is a good show. So it was kind of more like, it was like if you had more of the second half of All In, but at a shorter time frame. So it was a better show from that point. So it's kind of like my friend says it best when it's like when shows are like that. He's like, it's like you got a steak and there was a little too much fat, so you just cut off the fat, and it's just like, oh, okay, but I'll just eat around it. It's kind of like that. I'm like, that's kind of how Supercard of Honor works. It's a little bit fat, but this one felt like fat, like, and then like little bitty steak. I'm like, no, I want a whole ass steak. Huh?
Heart attack? Oh gosh.
But yeah, honestly,
I wanted Chaos Emeralds, and instead I got rings. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
but yeah, man, pay-per-view was so long that you really have to have a lot of time of the day to watch it in all one seating. Because me personally, I had to watch it like half and half.
It's
I
I
couldn't.
know a lot of people said that to me too. A lot of people I know, they said, I watched Evolution and Saturday Night's Main Event and Great American Bash in a day. And I'm like, oh, okay. But they said they had to wait, they had to watch All In with it. They had to stretch it to 2 to 3 days because it just dragged and they started falling asleep. And I'm like, oof.
And I'm always
Okay.
guilty of these AEW pay-per-views because they do run too long. And it does, you have your slow points too. And especially if it's a match you just don't give a crap about. And then that doesn't help either. So it's like it's a whole doggone work day. To sit down and watch an AEW pay-per-view. I just wish they were shorter or they just didn't do 0 hours.
And I say this with sincerity when I say this, and I mean no ill will towards the talent of AEW as far as the wrestlers, with the exception of the Costco guys, because they're not wrestlers, fuck them. But with the exception of them, all the actual wrestlers, I have 0 problems with them, and they're like, okay, cool, more power to you, whatever.
They're just there to do their job.
They're just there, and they're doing their best. But it always goes back to the same thing I'm always saying. It's not what you do, it's how you're presented. And if you're presented poorly, that's how it's going to come off. And the sad truth of it is they present these top tier talent as if it's like, eh. So I'm like, give me a reason to watch. That's all I ask. Give me a reason to be invested. Give me a reason to care and pay off that care. It's like a movie trailer. You've got to set up the movie to be as satisfying as the trailer is. And when you see the movie and it sucks, you get pissed off because you got lied to. It's the same thing. It's all like you go in expecting to see a horror movie and then you get Titanic and you're like, God damn it.
It is horrifying imagining being on a ship sinking. How's that?
No.
Okay, how about you got a killer on the ship coming after you? Okay, wait, I'm just making up my own touch.
Yeah, anyway, but my point, that's my point, is that it's you have to get it right. You have to get the proper way to do it right. There are ways that they're presenting certain talent better than others. And then they have so much good talent that they're not even putting on television or they're leaving them at home. Where the hell is... I had this whole argument with someone when they were trying to give me shit. They're like, really? They're going to have Jelly Roll wrestle at SummerSlam? That's going to ruin wrestling. I'm like, okay, what's more damaging to wrestling? Jelly Roll doing a one-off tag team match or a contracted internet meme family? Contracted. While explain to me as a wrestling fan why the Costco guy has to be on TV every single week with his stupid family and Keith Lee has to stay at home.
Because Keith Lee doesn't have to.
And you have 2 fat kids.
He is 2 fat kids. No,
oh no, okay,
he's 2 fat kids in a trench coat.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, good night, everyone. We apologize to the heavier set fans at watching at home if you're still awake, because again, America's cure for insomnia,
Whatever.
Yeah.
Except for Johnny there.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Johnny's there because we're all kind of heavy set. Johnny's there as the slender representation, so they don't feel like excluded. You know what I mean? But anyways, yeah, that wraps it up for this episode. I think we all kind of said our piece. The consensus was that it dragged at the beginning. It got better with the 3 main events, and also it was just too damn long.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could let's see also who won the thing. I forgot before we leave.
All right, so the winners is a tie. It's a tie.
Oh.
It's not often this happens, but there's a tie for winners. It's tied with 8 points each. Me and you.
Oh wow.
Yeah, weird, huh? Okay, next after that would be William with 6 points. Next would be Johnny with 5. And then next tied for last is DJF and Jack.
Oh wow.
So I don't know what their punishment has to be.
We watched this again.
Oh no, they have to rewatch the whole. No. I got it. They have to watch the boom match or repeat for an hour.
No.
They have to watch a DVD that collects all the Moxley main events into one DVD set.
No,
Just the dark.
plus every single boom match.
Does it come with a fork to kill myself?
No, you are not allowed to have the forks. Only Moxley can have a fork.
Okay, but that's the thing. So you and DJF will get a copy of AJ Boom's greatest hits. Every match they've had so far compiled in a Blu-ray set or something. Or even the Ultra HD, so you could catch every fiber of the boom. You know, you could.
Yeah, I do find them annoying, honestly. But you know, what can you do?
Yeah, I know.
But they give them too much time.
Funnier punishment. You guys will act out like what's his name, Kyle O'Reilly. You'll walk alongside them in the ring.
No.
We have to draw the line, man. Gotta draw the line somewhere.
No, right. So, anyways, guys, this is America's #1 cure for insomnia, the Diving Cutter Wrestling Podcast. If you're feeling the shakes, if you're feeling sleeping deprivation, if you got, if you
withdrawal syndrome or something.
No, but if you go long enough without sleep, you start getting all shaky and jittery. You can't function. Your eyes are all like dried out, whatever. So if you're having any of these symptoms at all, watch the Diving Cutter Wrestling Podcast. It'll cure it right away. We do advise to not listen to the podcast while driving or operating heavy machinery. And even if you're forklift certified,
Like
still,
but
yeah.
he isn't.
Yeah, don't listen to the podcast during those conditions. So, anyways, guys, it's Mark Rodriguez signing off here.
Jack Knives from Jack Knives Reviews signing out.
This is Juby Chan. I'm still Ninja Juby or Wendy. Why am I even here? But I'm going to turn this over to the one, the only, the man of the hour, the man with the power, the man who is the slim one here, Johnny Rodriguez, representing.
Yep. And the last thing I want to say is that Jupes was there live, not for this event, but one of the AEW shows where she literally got to say, "You suck" to Moxley. And
Oh, yeah, I did. And that was one of the best highlights of my entire life. That is so sad. I must have a very sad life.
See you next time, guys.